You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box. Let me see. Where do I want to start? Well, I've got a few ideas. It's going to be probably a show that is going to be a little bit more interesting than probably anything you've ever experienced, and that's the intent. It's an interesting day, this, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm still sorting a couple of things out here. I'm going to be posting something on Facebook during this. I'm going to play a song, and there's a reason for it. There's always a reason for things. The understanding of it, you may or may not pick up on. A lot of concepts I want to share with you guys that are just going to melt your heads, and you'll start understanding what natural law really is and how to use it. Stand in it first. You know, you can't expect nature to stand with you if you defy it all the time. That's your natural state of being, right? That's the natural law. And you cannot even think of defying that which you are trying to create. And that's what we've been doing. We've literally been defying our own creations by walking around on this man-made stuff and all the rest of it in this kindergarten for angels, if you will. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play something for you guys, and we'll continue on the other side of it. I just want to get this into the ether for a very, very specific reason, of which I know what it is, and it's not really relevant that anyone else does, because, you see, God is unknowable, and I'll get into that. I'm going to do a little visit with Revelations 21 as well, and do a little decoding for you from a different perspective to expand what a new heaven and earth is. One of the things I like about this book that I've got here, of course, had to be exactly where it needed to be, right in front of me. I just want to share this before I play this tune for you. Anyway, it's right at the back of the book, chapter 22, which is, of course, there's your catch-22. It'll tie together. You'll see how this works, so stay with me on this and get on the magic carpet ride and open your minds to a whole new world, because that's what you're going into. At the back of this book, it says a scriptural directory, a guide to the persons, places, things, and thoughts hidden in God's Word, the easy location of which helps make the Bible an, in quotation marks, an open book. See, that's the book that you write. Not the duality Taurus field, that's the Bible. But, you see, while we've been reading all along, we should have been writing. But only after reading can we write. So it's a perfect mirror regardless. And I do love showing the singularities, because every singularity exposed destroys the dualistic aspect of the spell that was created. And this world changes very quickly as a result, as I'm sure many of you are seeing for yourselves, without me saying that. And you're starting to see the power that you truly wield once you start getting into the nitty-gritty of truth. So here, let me share this with you, and I'm going to post something on Facebook. And then I will read part of it and explain a few things as to how to cast spells. Little hints that kind of dropped into my lap during dream time and pretty much all day. So I'll be right back after this, and we'll see you on the other side. Okay, well, the internet's not wanting to play nice, of course, go figure. Oh, thank you for the fear that you're showing in the mirror. It's beautiful. You see, I take everything that everyone would take as a negative, and I flip it into a positive, knowing that it's a mirror of this place. Yeah, this has just been something crazy. Where was I going to go here? Let me see. Okay, well, first off, I was going to read something from Facebook regarding Ragnarok, but, of course, can't get on fucking internet, so it's not letting me load the pages up. So the only way I can do that is to reboot everything, and I don't need to do that right now. I'm going to keep trying and see if it wants to fix itself or not. But anyway, I'm going to read a couple of things to you. Ragnarok, by the way, is the day the gods die. And of course it has to be 222, February 22nd. Right, so this is the catch-22 of duality, the 222. And that's exactly what this God spell is. It's the catch-22. Now this is only part of it. I've got an expanded version of it, but I will share what I've got here, knowing full well that every word that was created in my mind was created with my intent. The unknowable, because no one can decipher or decode anything that I create. That's the nature of God, and it's a vacuum that nature abhors that I have filled. Every one of these words written fit inside the space of a dot, allowing for no space and only pure creation of void. That's what a vacuum is, the vacuum of space and time. Everything gets sucked into it, like in the middle of the yin and the yang. You've got the light dot and the dark dot. Well, I just created the dark one. Let's just play this. See what we got. Again, I did have a version of it that was spaced out, so that I could literally spaced out, so that it would be easier to read. But I ended up editing it into the hex of hexes, which allows for no space, and of course no time, and it's one word. In the beginning there was the word, so I wrote it. See, this is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, and it all begins and ends with a word. So, word, baby. And this is only part of it. In my hand I hold the key, no space allowed for for you to see, the witch's mirror of sophistry. The phoenix riz of sight made sound, the Babylonians gather round, your London Bridge is fallen down. On windsore spirit creates intent. Die the crows of government, where towers fall, now fully spent. Where stolen night lays crucified, the light of day does gather nigh, where cave-in stars. See, I can't even read it because I've got it so small. Anyway, you get the idea. What this is an allegorical spell, written from the anagogic into the literal. And contained within each one of these words and each one of these sounds, more importantly. See, the sound is in the word, not the word in the sound. So what I've done here is anagogically written a spell, using the mirror of intent. And during the writing of this, I have to tell you, the downloads are just crazy. I really did want to read this, so there was so much more to it. Let me see if I've got a version of it that I can actually read. No, there it is. And I did try to copy and paste it as one, but it just did not want to go into the internet. What I might do is see if Mike and Mark are around, and that'll allow me to reboot so I can share this with you guys, and then just kind of join back in. So I just want to see if Mike and or Mark or Ninja or whoever, anyone that can run the board, to pop in and take the helm for about 10 minutes anyway. And of course, it's your table, so if you want to host it, you're the host with the most, baby. You're the holy host. Well, the G is silent, right? Let me see. All right. Well, I'll open up Janet's line, see if she's game. Hey, Janet, how are you? Hello.
Hi, Kate.
How are you?
Good. Great. Yep, I'm sitting on the beach in Eureka. That was beautiful.
Eureka, which is the intent,
Eureka.
The light of God's Spirit. Eureka has a whole new meaning, doesn't it?
Yeah.
See, every word's an allegory. I just learned how to read the allegories, that's all. And this is what we share today. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to do a shout-out for anybody else here that wants to just jump in, and maybe you guys can have a quick little chat, and I'll do a full reboot. So you're the hostess with the mostess, baby love. And anyone that's on the board, put your hand up. Give Janet some of the talk.
If you want to play Get Your Goat, we can play Get Your Goat. That'll be a good game while you reboot.
There you go. And there
Everyone
we have
can
Brandon.
always get my goat, so maybe I can do it.
Right on. Right on. Now it looks like Brandon's chiming in here. Brandon, I'm going to open up the mic, but here's the rules of the game. No literal shit. Only talking of anagogic. Fair?
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, Brandon.
And who else wants to jump in with these guys before I roll out, and then I'll call back in? Anybody else? I know you guys can do it just fine by yourself, but I just thought I'd hit one on your dial pad if you want to jump in, or open up your Skype, or text me direct on Skype if you don't know how to do that, and I'll open your mic up. Because I know there's a couple on the board here that may not know how to do that, and that's why I'm here. I got Tony. I've got Steve. Who else have I got that I can see? Green Wizard. Live. Yeah, you're getting called out, guys. This is your chance to shine. This is going to be the night of nights. This is where Saturn falls. Tonight is the night. It's done.
Yeah.
I'm going to read.
Mother's birthday, too.
There you go. Well, it has to be Mother's birthday, doesn't it?
That's right. Yep.
Happy birthday, Mom. Oh, there we go. We got Steve in here. So there you go.
Hi, Steve.
I feel better now that there's a Trinity. So I will reboot and reset the internet here to see if I can get online, and because I want to share this, and then I'll see what I can do about being able to read some of this for you anyway. Then and we're going to talk about anagogic spell casting as the real wizards do, right? So Steve, you there? Okay.
Yes, I am. Good evening.
Okay. Well, good evening to you. So I'm going to reboot. The table is yours. The show stays open, and I'll be back as quick as I can. But have fun playing Get Your Goat. Okay. I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
All right. What's up, guys?
Well, kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't planning on calling into the show tonight, but I'll see if I can inject a few thoughts that maybe you all can play with. Ran across a really interesting article yesterday, I believe it was, and I made a comment, I don't know, several nights back on the show about the energies that are coming into play and the electromagnetics of it. And over the last couple of years, I have noticed a large change, a great change in plant cycles and plant growth and production of garden production, that type of thing, which has been down quite a lot, some 40-50% off production all over the place, all over the world. And I've noticed a lot of changes in the water, the earth water, coming up, the groundwaters. A lot of major changes in the sun cycles. You can just observe the naked eye, like many have. The spotlight effect, the lack of illumination, and of course the different clouding effects that we've had. Anyway, I ran across this article because I always said that one of these days it's going to get to the point to where it's going to be so obvious to so many people that so-called mainstream media, mainstream science, is going to have to start acknowledging that they've been going down the wrong path. And this article was put out by there's a spokesperson who was a scientist for a group of mainstream scientists, including NASA scientists, and talking about how the fact that they have to admit that they have been following the wrong paradigm when it comes to our galactic activities, that we are not a gravitational system, that we are an electromagnetic system, and acknowledging the fact that the electromagnetics of the sun have changed drastically, and that it is going to have profound effect upon the planetary geoelectric and the human electrical fields, and that we should expect some major changes in what we have known and the different effects that it's going to have on us. So I just thought, it didn't go into a lot of detail, but it's just really amazing to see that finally come into play, that the mainstream science is acknowledging that they've been walking down the wrong path. And what that tells me is that the money shifted, because for many years now, the main reason that mainstream science, and I keep using that word, has been following this path and not speaking up on the findings, the new findings, is because when they did, the grant money's pulled, the research money's pulled, they're thrown out of their little groupie organizations, so they've kept their mouths shut. But now the mainstream scientists are breaking away, opening up, and saying that, yes, we are different. So the money's changed. I thought it was interesting.
I was talking about this last night. I was on a show last night. We were talking about this exact topic because everybody's noticing these changes, and if you're, work on the land a little bit, you notice that the sky is different, the sun is different, light is different. And so we were talking about these constants, and one is the speed of light, which we've been taking science, mainstream science, as you say, has been taken for granted. At one point, they just met and said, we're going to agree that it's 186,000 miles per second, I think it is, right? But that's not a constant. It's actually variable every time you measure it. It's just the average. They just agree for, E equals MC squared. But you're right. Like, something is happening to light that's different. It's interesting that they agree now as electromagnetic. I didn't know that. But I was just talking about this. So it's going to affect everybody's light. Affects everything. Think about it. I mean, it vegetation to climate to everything. But
well, it's already having and has had over the last couple of years, very, very noticeably for those of us that are gardeners and growers and what have you. The production cycles, right now it's mid-February here. We just went through some pretty cold weather, well below normal for us this time of year, and but yet the trees are budding out 6-8 weeks early. The grass is already greening up and growing. I was surrounded by honeybees today, and it's just all this is the snakes are coming out already, and usually they stay held up until April or May. The whole cycles are changing, and what we have to realize is they're changing with us too, because we are part of this same planetary system, the planetary animal mother. We're all connected with that. Our electromagnetic fields are all connected together. So if you see changes in plants, know that there's also changes in you, and look for those changes. And like I said the other night, a lot of this that they've preached to us over the years, as far as being fact, is not necessarily fact. It's just like all this scare about radiation, with Fukushima and all that. Well, I'm old enough that I remember growing up in the 60s where every day we practiced hiding under our desks because Russia was going to, bomb us with nuclear bombs, and that was how we were going to save ourselves, was by hiding under desks, and that if that ever happened,
I did that.
Yeah, really. But if they ever exploded a bomb, that it would be a dead zone for hundreds or thousands of years because of the half-life of the radiation. And yet, when you think about it, they have exploded thousands of nuclear bombs across this planet over the last 50 or 60 years. And in Chernobyl, they run buses in there every day with tourists on them to see Chernobyl, and all the animals are fine. There's been a few plant mutations, but and radiation is just radiated energy. So we radiate every day. Everything radiates, but yet we're so scared of that frickin' word.
Some people think that
you have to neutralize it.
The Trinity, speaking of Trinity, it started with the Trinity test that they did. What they did was they took nuclear energy and just blew up a nuclear bomb in the ionosphere, which is basically the shield maiden for Earth. It's like, this is the sun comes in, hits the Earth, it creates bounces some of the radiation off. Anyway, the scientists were so stupid, they would just do anything, impulse, and they let a nuclear bomb go off. Like, I think it's right between Canada and the United States border or something like that. I forget where exactly. But
what I'm saying is, though, don't look at it from the literal sense of, oh my God, they blew up an atomic bomb and the radiation's going to kill it. The thing is that everything that we've been told has been an illusion. Now, if everything we've been told is an illusion, then everything we've been told is an illusion.
Yeah.
And so, it's all a fear-mongering thing. We are made of the same molecule, whatever you want to call it, atomic structure, vibrational frequency, electromagnetics, as everything around us. We have the same elements in us as a tree, as a rock, as a nuclear bomb, as plastic. We have all of those same components within us. They're just organized in different ways. So if we're all the same, then there's nothing to really fear about it, because we just control our own molecular structure. See what I'm saying? So if you're in a divine part of yourself or a spiritual part of yourself, the physical body is the manifestation of that, and you control your own environment by your perception of it. So if you perceive that radiation, iodine neutralizes radiation. Well, what do you think the oceans are full of? They're full of iodine. Now, the big scare of Fukushima is dumping all the radiation into the ocean, killing the ocean, supposedly. Well, if the ocean is full of iodine, then it's neutralizing itself. So just throw away the fear.
Yeah, I think.
And realize it's just another manifestation of reality.
Steve?
Yes.
Steve? Hi, Steve. It's Mark here.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark. How are you?
I'm great. Hi, Janet. No, I think that's fantastic what you just said, Steve. Blast out of the water the fear aspect. Are you really seriously thinking that? I mean, we're like.
Well, just look at
She's
Chernobyl.
amazing. She's amazing.
Years after Chernobyl, they look for the proof. If radiation from a nuclear explosion or meltdown or whatever, and all the fear of all these nuclear plants melting down, if that was really the case, that it was going to kill the Earth in that area for thousands of years, if it was going to mutate and cause all this cancer and kill all the living organisms in that area, where's the proof of that? In the Chernobyl area, there's old women that still live in that area that are 80, 90 years old. They've lived with this meltdown because they refuse to move, and they have no increased cancer. They have no more increase in death rate. The only proof of the pudding came from the infant thyroid cancer increase, and that they tied into the fact that they drank milk from a cow. When the cow ate the grazed on the grass, it brought the radiation inside, it got into the milk, and the children, the babies, infants were fed the milk, and there was an increase in thyroid deformities. Other than that, where's the proof that any of this? They exploded bombs over Nevada. They exploded bombs all over the frickin' place in this planet, and are still doing it. But yet it's not causing, where's the proof of all this fear? So it is just a fear game.
But it's all right for the United States government to do it, you see, Steve.
Well, yeah, but that's all going to go by the wayside too. I mean, I'm not concerned about that. I'm looking at it from an overall, just from an aspect of who I am. Not from this particular borders I were put in, or this particular corporate governing body that came rising up through the ashes. I'm looking at it from, where am I really? What am I to this planet? What is my connection to the cosmos? And how do I play in this beautiful imagination? Play in it, not be covered up in fear over all the stories and propaganda and ironies and construct, but to free my imagination from 55 years worth of crap that's been dealt on it, and just start playing and creating from there, because all these fears only exist within oneself.
That was a good way to put it. That was beautiful, man.
Yeah. Right.
Mine,
we
of
are
course,
the
I'm
imagination.
most of the time, so.
Ultimately. Because what I was getting at, the United States, the United States, Britain, France, we've been blowing up nuclear bombs for God, like you said, the last 50 years. But is that having any effect? What is Fukushima? It's, like you said, it's just another fear aspect. They're not going to discuss all the South Pacific nuclear experiments, shall we call them, that have been going on. What effect's that been having?
Well, I think things like that have the effect too, but you give it. If you're afraid of Fukushima and let it run your life, then you're afraid of it and you let it run you rather than the other way around, But yeah, good point.
Yeah, we're the creators.
It's like what Steve mentioned a minute ago. It's what reality, illusion, the smoke and mirrors, having rose-tinted glasses removed. Actually,
it's for the contrast. Yeah.
Yeah, the contrast is a big one. The contrast, ultimately, I don't know, from my perspective, it helps, doesn't it? And the contrast can be severe. It can be, we've all had different contrasts, different lives, different experiences, some worse than others. But when you come back, and I think somebody mentioned this story, I think it was Sherry who mentioned the story that I sort of was told about the petrol station attendant who had his face blown off. He was a Muslim. An American blew his face off. But the end of the story was that both, there was forgiveness, there was peace, there was understanding. The Muslim partitioned right to the bitter end to have this guy stopped from being, put to sleep.
I remember that, yep. I remember that story.
Standing on the rim in that neutral position, seeing both sides, which, again, from my perspective, what Kate does so brilliantly with the phonics is enabling or helping to see the black and the white from every word, letter.
Oh, yeah, it's the key. It's the key. It's the sound.
Mm.
Yep.
I mean, mustn't let the fear aspect creep in. I mean, we talk about nature a lot, natural law.
I don't know how many of you may or may not have listened much to John Lash, but John brought up a pretty good point here just the other day on this Fukushima related, and that how it possibly could tie into Gaia's correction, because he got to contemplating the dates on the occurrences back in March of 2011, and let's see, how did that work out? The new moon was on the 6th of March 2011. 5 days later, the Fukushima event occurred. 8 days later, on the 19th, was the full moon, the super full moon, which was in its perigee. Okay, now, from the 1st of March to the 6th of March is how many days? 5, right?
Right.
From the 6th of March to the 11th is, let's see, how did that go? That's 5 days, 6 to the 5. And then from the 11th to the 19th is 8 days. Okay? And 5 and 8. Anyway, it worked out with 3 main numbers in the Fibonacci sequence. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was right in that area. And those 3 occurrences, and Fukushima happening on the 11th, caused it to react within the Fibonacci sequence. I thought that was kind of a neat observation.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Now, another thing he brought up about that, which is food for thought, was that we've always been told that radiation causes mutation, right? So, what if Mother Nature, through her affecting this tsunami, if in fact, I know there's a lot of theories out there how this happened, but we also know through the apogee and the perigee of the moon with Earth that it causes a shift in the bearing center of the Earth, which every planet has a bearing center, and that shift moves at 718 miles an hour on average, a little faster in the apogee, a little slower in the perigee. And we also know that a sonic boom occurs at 765 miles an hour in the air, of course, not within the context of the Earth. But let's say that it went from the apogee on the 6th and moved to the perigee on the 19th, that it'll speed up as it makes that turn. And what if it actually caused a booming within the Earth, which caused a tectonic plate shift, which causes tsunami on the 11th in the sequence of numbers, caused the radiation leak, which causes mutation? And what if she's using it as a way to transmutate the human anthropos into the next level of evolution?
Right. Wow.
So why be fearful if, in fact, it is a possibility that it's your own mother that's creating a good thing for us, and in using something that they have used for years to fearmonger us and to keep us down?
Yep. There you go.
Mhm.
There's magic right there. That's when you invert there. All right, magic.
Mm-hmm.
Magic and imagination, the same thing. So with our playful imaginations, we can imagine that could be possible. And if it is, there's sure no fear in it. It's a beautiful, exciting thing.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel excited about it. That makes sense.
That's a good point, a good way to put it. And that's kind of the way you look at things. You know, is it something that, I don't know that it's true or not. It's surely possible, but it resonates.
Yeah,
and it does make sense.
That's the way I do. I just feel my way through it. Yeah.
Oh, hello?
Hello.
Hey.
I just opened 805's mic. Are you there? Hello? Obviously not. Okay.
Mark, I'm going to be gone for a few minutes. I need to help my wife bring some wood in for the night, so I'll be back momentarily.
You're a good man, Steve.
Okay. All right.
There's 3 kinds of good. There's good, no good, and good for nothing, you know.
It's all good, Steve.
That's the quad, huh?
Exactly. I mean, I think what John Lash is saying does resonate. I think John Lash has been hitting the ball out of the park quite a bit just recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. He basically invented the word art. Well, he didn't invent it, but he introduced it back into the jargon is Archon, the name Archon. That's a good way of like kind of looking at the Gnostic Bible scholarship and what's been going on with that. It's pretty interesting, his work on that, and I like him.
Me too.
Guys, I'm just going to open 805 again, so hang on.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, 805.
805 here.
I recognize that voice.
It's Colleen.
Hello.
Hello, all.
Colleen.
Hello, Kelly.
Hello,
Hi.
Jen. Hi, Brenda.
How are you?
I'm very well, listening to all the other parts of myself. Just beautiful. It really resonated what Steve was saying, and all of you earlier, too. I spend so much time, or I shouldn't say that, I just really connect with Gaia so much and in nature. And it's really interesting because the last few days I've just had this incredible merging with the energies and going to that, like Steve was saying, from my yellow brick road, here everything is so alive and lush, and there's no hint of any disruption at all with Gaia in my world. And
Yeah.
I've been looking at that the last week or so, and it's just when we are connected into our infinite nature, knowing who we are, we do merge with that infinite nature of everything, merging with all. It's the everything and the nothing, and just trying to put words to to the experience, of course, is so limiting. But we struggle with that sharing our experience. And
I know what you mean, though. Yeah.
And Steve had mentioned John Lamb Lash, and that really resonates with me with the Gaia's correction, because here, like I said, in my world, if there is a I don't even know what to call it, a struggle going on, then it feels like there is a correction happening constantly, or just balancing, right? Just the balancing.
I know, and yep.
Yeah. Do you understand that, Brandon? What I'm saying?
What I'm thinking is, like, let's say what your point is, like, no matter what the news throws at us, whether it be the craziest fear-mongering it can do, whether it's war, nature has a way of balancing it out to almost...
Yes. And guess what? We are nature. We are that.
And it's the most surprising, beautiful way that you wouldn't even expect, and that's what nature does. And nature, I think, is feminine and masculine. I think there's even a little masculine even though it's predominantly feminine. And it just, I think it corrects itself without, but it's human beings asserting themselves over nature, whereas nature is a more intelligent thing than the human being. That was the traditional great chain of being, they called it. And human beings were a part of that chain. We were a link in that chain, but we weren't the highest. There are angels in between us and God, and there's, nature and the universe and the cosmos. That's a Greek word. I mean, we weren't at the same time, we are the most intelligent species we know of in some way, but it's how you define intelligence, and that's what came to fruition. And that's why we now recognize that, wow, okay, maybe the Earth, Gaia, is actually the true intelligence, and no matter what we do on this Earth, there's going to be an equal and opposite reaction, and Newton was actually correct about that. But, it is a universal law that something will happen, no matter, even if I just touch my spoon or this little water, something's going to happen.
Well, knowing who you are, so you're not pulled into all the fear,
right.
That gets thrown at you, and really being, having discernment on where you, allow your energies to go. And that's where I for myself, meditation, being in nature is so important, because you can read all the books. You can listen to all the videos of all these incredible people bringing in all this information that has really been here. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay? They're connecting into that, if you want to call it the Akashic records of everything that's been and ever will be. There is that pull for us to go in and connect to that knowledge. But the only way really that it can be done is in the quiet, in the silence, and whether you meditate lotus, sitting, in a quiet room somewhere, or you meditate when you're out walking or hiking or, whatever you do. That's where our power is.
Yeah, you're right.
Go ahead, Mark.
No, I'm just resonating with what you're saying, that not only are we connecting, resonating higher, but we're also connecting with Gaia Sophia.
Right.
Yes, because Gaia Sophia pulses in our blood and our veins and our heart. We are Gaia Sophia.
She's Mary, right? She's like, she's our mother. It's like we like the Chinese, I guess.
We are that. Yeah.
We grew out of that. Like, you could never say we were born. We grew out of the earth. That's what they say. They don't see themselves as separate in terms of.
Well, you know how it's said, like there's the earth and then the cosmos, and as above, so below, right? Okay, well, every one of us has the universe within us. Every single cell is bursting with that incredible energy and power of, every aspect of the universe. Well, so is Gaia. Think about, we forget so much of the time. We think the earth is, we walk across Gaia and the earth, but she is just suspended out there in the cosmos too. She has to be part of the cosmos, and it's just like we are. Yep. As above, so below.
That's right. And we can't see beyond a corner, and trying to see the macrocosm of the cosmos, of the universe, is like trying to see around 20 corners or something to be a human being. Brain theory and, dimensions that make no sense and can't be proven by the scientific method. But, how are we supposed to imagine our reality? Well, we have to do it in our own way and follow our yellow brick road, as has been said many times in the stable. You're right. It's just like, as, you have to, there is something to the macrocosm and the microcosm being super similar, and tapping into that wellspring of creation, like you said before, is essential to that. And silence is essential to that. And we have such a world today that's so chattery. That's chatter of the skull. You know, even when you try to turn off the TV, you try to turn off your skull. That's another thing. Kierkegaard, one of my favorite, Soren Kierkegaard, his name means churchyard, last name, by the way. One of my favorite philosophers said, you know, if I could prescribe the world this is back in 1800s, if I could prescribe the world one thing, it would be silence. Because if there is no silence, the word of God can't even be heard. And what do we have today? We have so much noise, you know. So, yeah, you know, I think the prescription here at this table is find an hour a day, 15 minutes, whatever it is, where you're alone with yourself, whether it's driving, jogging, walking, whatever. Find the witness, absolute witness void state of darkness, of being, and just laying in that. Know that everything's okay, and observe your thoughts and everything, and you know, and meditate and truly do it and practice it, and you'll be a healthier being, you know.
Well, we've said many times, and Kate said many times at this table about, you know, just get quiet, shut up.
Right. Get dark and shut the fuck up. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because I know what?
It's a good lesson.
Yeah. When I am in that silence, and for me it's oh my goddess, being in nature, and then that's how your heart breaks open, because when you are in that silence and you merge with the birds and the sun breaking through the trees, that you know, that magical, glistening, brilliant gem coming through the forest, the sun, you know, coming through the trees like that. It's so magical, and everything merges, and your heart breaks open, and you can't do anything but be silent. There are no words that come.
That's right. I call that aesthetic arrest, when the heart is arrested. In the story of the Silmarillion, I just say it because I'm a Tolkien nerd. The king elf, his name is Elwë Stingol. He's in the woods and he sees a nightingale and a beautiful woman, you know, dancing in the sunlight, and he stops. And he stops to what seems to him a moment, and it's actually like 2,000 years or something like that. The group of people
cool.
yeah, and he just stopped. He lived like seasons past, and he just stopped staring at her, and the people who are with him, his group of people, are kind of moving west, the elves. They call themselves with different names because they've lost their leader, you know, they think. And then he comes back with his queen, the Melian, the Maya is her name. And he's and they're married, of course. And it's an interesting thing that repeats over and over, you know. And but you know, just that thought of like being arrested by something beautiful, like when you lay out and see a shooting star or something like that, or just finding it in a grain of sand or anything, any old thing, really. But I mean, find it in the ordinary, in the common man, in the common sort of drudgery of life. I think is having fun with it, and it's some kind of redemption, some sort of alchemy going on. And I think that's the highest kind of place to live is there, you know. And it's simple, and it's not. I explain it, and the irony is we're trying to explain something that's ineffable, you know. So like, talking about something, and I can. It's like you're pointing to the moon, you know, or a menu, you know. It's the menu. It's not the food, you know. So you really have to in that place and experiment and have your own direct experience of that wellspring.
Yes. Well, that was really interesting because, you know, just really feeling that just your heart breaking open, and then, you know, how the synchronicities work, right? And right after that, I saw something that Nassim Haramein had said. And he said he meditates regularly. It's the major way that he keeps his heart open, and that he's able to connect in then with the, if you want to call it the cosmic knowledge or wisdom, or the, that he's bringing in his piece that he's brought in. And every single one of us has a beautiful piece to bring in. We might not be a Nassim Haramein, but we have a piece that is so important to this evolving of Gaia and all of us. But it's so interesting how it all weaves together, isn't it?
It is, and it surprises us with joy. And it's funny because C.S. Lewis, one of my favorite authors, points out that, he judges things by their ability to break your heart. You've watched a good book, watched a good movie, or read a good book, or seen something that, put your heart in a rest. If it breaks your heart, that's the supreme aesthetic, I think. That way of beauty of living is things that break your heart, or that's what makes a sunset very beautiful, I think. And part of it is it's fall, it's death. So there is a sort of twilight of God, and I think that's rather beautiful. And you're right. You can't talk about it. It's almost impossible to talk about, and classify.
Well, you don't want to. You don't want to talk. You don't want to put words to it, because the words. There's no way the words could even, I
know, and that's why the Essenes. Was it the Essenes? Or the Dead Sea Scrolls. So I saw the Dead Sea Scrolls, and they conveyed God with 3 dots, because the word was so sacred to them that the fact that you wrote it out was profane. So there's the sacred and the profane, and when you sort of subtract something from God itself when you write it out.
Right, because it's unknowable. Yeah.
Yes, that's the same kind of idea. So like you say, we're just remembering all this again. People have known this 5,000 years ago, We're just remembering, So that's
well, when we are at that place where the words just don't come, and you just are so merged with everything, that's when you have the real understanding and awakening that you are that God. You are the source. You are God. You are that. And we are all creating from that place. And so really knowing and having discernment of where you're putting that sacred energy.
Very important, because it's everything, and it's every we're not defined by how beautiful we are, or whatever. Well, maybe we are, but beauty has to do with morality and in the choices that we make, because essentially, like you said, we are gods. And I've had several different mystical experiences, and I can classify them. Okay, this one was more dissociative. I fell apart. This one I felt at one with everything. What you're talking about, I think, is like this self-actualization moment where everything around you sort of turns gold, and you have that aha moment. And you see everything is going to be what happens to me is that I get a smirk on my face, and I just start to laugh, and everything's fine. I had this great idea. These come now pretty regularly, but, I remember the first time it came to me in 8th grade, whatever it was. And it was a self-actualization, because if you go up, Abraham Maslow, his hierarchy of needs, okay, you got food and shelter, and the very top one is the self-actualization moment. Because you can't really reach there if your food isn't taken care of, to some extent, you know what I mean? to try to get to that place every day, or to try to just live in that space as a writer, it's very tough for me, and it's very tough to practice, but do it. It's really worth it. It's really worth it.
Well, I think you just said the key maybe for you to look at, Brandon. You said to try to get to that place, because there really is no trying. It's
right.
like you get to that place where you just drop into it. And so when you try, you're bringing the mind in then, right?
You're right. Yeah, I made a mistake. You're right. See, what I'm trying to do, I see you
You're trying to put words to it, right?
I'm trying to
explain it.
Exactly. Within explaining it, I admit, my logical fallacies immediately in language. So excuse me. Thank you for the correct. Yeah. Very important. Yeah. There is
not
no
correct.
trying.
Just observing. Lovingly observing.
What does Yoda say? He says something like, do.
Just do.
Not. He's do or do not. There is no try.
There is no try, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, you were talking about just in the mundane things. Of course, nature isn't mundane, but
no, it's empty. I mean, to find infinity in a grain of sand, to find
Well, what I was going to say is because there's so much more than meets the eye, as that saying goes. There's so much more, so many other layers going on. Just as an example, the birds.
Right. Oh my goodness.
The birds have the job that the birds do is, on a very spiritual level, and how you come to this is sitting with the birds, observing the birds, becoming one with the birds, communicating with them. And Rudolf Steiner was one that that could do that. But I have a tree back here in my yard that every day about 3:30, I call it the Bird Tree Sanctuary. All these birds come, all different birds, and lately people may resonate with this too. I'm seeing new birds I've never seen before, new colors. But these birds, these little tiny, they're like the size of a wren with a puffier chest.
Yep.
They're so darling. And they just come, like 50 of them, and then other birds too, to this one tree. And they have an unbelievable reunion in this tree. And they've allowed me to be a part of it. And, oh my gosh. And so...
You ever try whistling and communicating with them? I always try to do the mock thing. Yeah. And
the energy is just so, it's like, how would I say it, beyond a sound to them. It's like you're communicating in a whole different dimension. But these birds are giving us Shaktipat. If you know what Shaktipat is, it's like it's transmission. It's a transmission of energy. And so people have never, been taught this, of course. It's something that has to come to you, and you make the choice if you're going to make the time, if you want to call it that time, right?
Right.
To become one with nature. And all the secrets of nature will be revealed to you.
Mm-hmm. And, it doesn't take much, people. Look up. Go to a nice clearing and look at the stars on a nice clear night, really. And look at the moon and just really feel the planets and everything around you, too, of course. But I'll tell you what, I could be content the rest of my life just no TV with a dome or whatever outside stars and making my own constellations and my own mythologies. You know, it's that kind of awareness and this beautiful, like that's how we're meant to live. We're not meant to be enslaved to some system through thought or through action or through emotion. And what people try to do, the black magicians of the earth, try to make us convert. I don't know. It's seeing our spiritual hunger and throwing us little breadcrumbs, I think, of that, because we know that we desire and long that oneness with nature and that kind of time. I don't know.
You just have to open your door to it.
Right.
Yeah.
You open
the door
your door
to your heart.
it. And those birds will. I can relate to what you're saying. Is it Carol?
Colleen.
Colleen.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
Colleen. Colleen.
Now I'm having a lesson, Brandon. And another thing with the birds, they if you look at nature, how they interact, they just allow to be. I get pigeons interacting with the robin redbreast, the crows, the squirrels. They're all just happy, doing their work, doing their business.
Yep.
Living.
Yes, they're such an example for us. You know, and they've just been kind of, for so many people, they're birds. But, oh, my gosh, what they are telling us, if you have eyes to see and ears to hear.
Yeah. And, you know,
they're saying, hey, brother and sister.
Hey.
Saying, hey, brother and sister. Hey,
what's up, dude?
What they're telling you is, hey, brother and sister, you are part of us and we are part of you. You do not have to learn from us, and we won't learn from you. We will just interact and play together.
Hey, that's what we're here for, man. There's no teaching.
Sharing the energy, giving and receiving that love energy.
Yes, but
for so long we've been told that we are not a part of nature, that nature is a separate entity that we must take care of, and we must shepherd, and we must garden, and we must caretake.
Control, right?
We are not any higher.
What a joke.
There is no hierarchy in nature. There is not one. There is not one animal. There is not one plant that has any more ranking above another. They all interact on the same level. We all photosynthesize. We all create life. We all create light. We all imagine and playfully just construct a world that is beautiful. And so it's not a matter of learning lessons from nature. It's the lesson to be learned is that you are nature. Right. It's one and the same.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. We grew out of it.
But, you know, when you are... there is lessons, or there is, what would you call it, kind of a waking up to point.
Right. I think you're right.
Nature, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people get born into a system, right? And they have to wake up to what really was, we have to remember. And it takes that little crack, you know, that aesthetic arrest, that sort of like, oh, wow, that's beautiful. My whole cosmology has changed. My whole life has changed. I'm in love, you know? And I'm not
That's
separate.
It, Brandon. Yeah, that's it. When you awake to that, it's that love you feel.
And that's why
which is who you are.
It immediately tries to fill you and program you with its own story, its own mythology, its own news, its own this is the evolution, this is how it's going, this is what we're doing. And, you know, there's always been the rich, there's always been the poor, and there's no way out of it. It's been one cycle. No, you know, I'm going to get off that cycle, thanks.
Not in my world.
In my world, not in Socrates' world, because you can never kill a person. You can, a good what did Socrates say? It's really perplexed me for some time, but then I got it. A bad thing can never be done to a good person in this lifetime or the next. And that's so true if you think about it. Because a bad thing cannot be done to a good person, or an evil thing can't be done to a good person in this lifetime or the next. Because it's how that person perceives the bad or the good. And so if that bad is good, and that's why he drinks the hemlock. So anyway, going off. But.
And to say you fuck off ain't a bad thing either. because to learn to stand in your own presence, you know, when you've been brought up in a world of conformity and bowing to authority, it's not a bad thing to finally raise your head up and say fuck off. You know, and whether you know the answers yet or not, or you know the direction that you want to, that doesn't fucking matter. The first thing you have to do is say fuck off.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then of course,
I said that today, and someone was shocked that I said that too.
Really?
Well, first you say fuck off. There's two stages to this, Colleen. There's two stages to this. First you say fuck off. And then you tell yourself to shut the fuck up.
I knew it.
Those are the first two stages.
And then what do? You know?
Yeah.
Just plant.
Then you listen.
Yeah, then you listen. Exactly. Good point. And then there's silence, right?
Yeah. But that's what it was. It was that. It was kind of a playful fuck off, right? And it was like, fuck off with trying to, you know, tell me how I'm going to see my world.
Right.
And I think, you know, it was. You get these things and you see, and it's like, Fukushima, we have a year to live. You better get to the, you know, and it's like, fuck off with that. Not in my world.
No, and they
and
try
it's
that.
not like. It's not like we're like love and light and you know, we're letting everybody else go into the trenches and
there's a problem, we have the solution, you know.
Yeah. Right. Because so many of us that say fuck off and
when you say it, because it's so sweet. It's like hearing my mom say it. So, you know.
And
it sounds great.
We're and we're in that.
It's all about intent.
Right.
It's how it just rolls off your tongue. Fuck.
Well, and that's when Christopher kept playing that Osho. You know, the Osho, the. Fuck.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then you said something about, I didn't get on that day. And it was like, oh, what do you think of that? And I wanted to get on and say, well, what do I think of that? Well, it's kind of fucking old now because it was like the third or fourth time Christopher was playing that. But I didn't get on and say it. But now everybody knows.
Now we know.
But yeah, it was just like, you know, don't tell me that I'm walking down my yellow brick road. You have yours, and I have mine.
Now,
I wish you love.
Now, how do you let these people infringe? See? Because I don't let them. I try not to let them anyway. You know, some are a little overbearing. Remember, it's your mom's birthday. But, no, I'm just kidding. But, I remember that one.
It's the intent, isn't it? Like Steve said, you can have the intent behind fuck off.
Exactly.
Fuck off?
What I'm wondering, Colleen, is like how does today, when you said fuck off, how did that person infringe upon whatever your reality is? Like, what is infringement to you? That's what I'm trying to find out, because my freedom ends where yours begins. You know, that's basically a law, you know, kind of natural law. It's a natural law, I think, is that, you know, like your fun with that samurai sword ends, or my fun with it, I guess, is ends where your head meets. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, in my world, that doesn't happen very often at all, but it did today. And so I did express myself that way, but it was, like Mark said, it was the intent behind it. It wasn't like, that's why I had a problem with that word before, because I was around people growing up that used that in anger.
Right.
And the same with the C word that I used to hear that, men calling women that on the playground and different things like that. So it had that energy or that intent, right? And so now the intention, if you use it just like, well, fuck off, this is my life, you have yours. And so I looked at that today, Brandon, you asked about that. I looked at that today as a lesson for me to look at that person and discernment.
Right. It's a lesson for all of us, I think.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is a lesson for all of us because the lesson I see from it when I use it, and it's mostly because I've been told my whole life not to use it as a reason. I'm just that rebellious spirit, that says, fuck you, I'll use it anyway. But in reality, if I ever achieve real understanding with myself and peace with myself, words like that probably would leave my vocabulary rather quickly, because whether the intent is a laughable one or a serious one or an angry one or a hateful one, is still the intent. And so time has to come to where I do not use words as my intentions. My intentions will be shown by the acts of myself.
Res ipsa loqua, a thing speaks for itself.
Yes.
That's a Latin phrase. Yeah,
And I've never
Steve?
Really...
Pardon me, Mark?
Can you allude to that, what you were just saying? A bit further?
Yeah, a little bit. Because, in reality, there's another one of them words. And Kate's done such a fine job of dismantling all this spells going on. And I guess, we grew up or used our vocabulary to ensnare ourselves. And I still use, and I'll use this in the first person because that's the only person there is, I still use my vocabulary, my wording, my spells to initiate levels of contentment with my own ego. Whether I can put them out there and masquerade them to myself as having the proper intent, and thus justified in using those words, does not give true intent to my spirit, because one cannot fool thyself. And I still find myself fooling myself all the time. And by telling myself that, well, I'm doing it with proper intent, and I'm just joking, or they're just taking it wrong, or they don't know what I mean. But that's not where it is. The words are the manifestations of the truth that you hold within your soul. So if that is the case, which I believe it is, until I am able to manifest my intent through things other than words, and they still have the same implications or the same creative ability, then I am still stuck in my own illusion of myself.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
You're stuck in that medium. Yeah, instead of like painting, you're stuck in like the spelling out of words and language game. No matter what you're saying.
It's all a game.
Well, I think...
But the biggest thing is it's a game to yourself. It has nothing to do with any of you or anyone else. Anything that comes out of my mouth is a game I'm playing with myself.
That's the cosmic joke.
Right. It's true.
But that was the key that you said, Steve, that you're aware that you're doing it. So that's you have the awareness. That's a whole different thing.
Yep. That's what he's saying. Yep, that's the weird part about it. You know, life is irony. You know, that's one of my biggest things I've ever learned. You know, is that it's just filled with so much irony and catastrophe and eucatastrophe from which we can't even expect. And that you're right, man. I find myself fooling myself like that, and there's no one that you know when you're fooling yourself. You know what I mean? Sometimes you look back, you're like, oh, but you're right. You try to justify it. You're like, oh, no, this person's taking it the wrong way. That person just doesn't get it. When really, no, once you look in the mirror, it's actually your intent, and it's how you project it. There's a lot
Hi, honey.
I didn't fucking get it. Hey, Kate. Good to
There you go.
back.
Hi, Kate.
Hello. I had something to finish. Yeah, I had something to finish to make sure I could read it.
Finish.
Okay, so let's cast a spell of spells, shall we? So you're about to experience the first anagogic allegoric literal you will ever hear in this lifetime. Y'all ready?
Ready.
Yes.
Okay, this was posted as one spell. I will be reposting it again. But here it is for those that have it on Facebook. It's all good. Anyway, I need more for people to listen, right? This is one word. In the beginning there was the word. Someone's got their speakers on? Thanks. In the beginning there was the word, and this is one word. There is no punct, you, consciousness, shun here, punctuation. No getting punked. Loki's a trickster. And you're messing with the wrong Gemini dragon. Here we go. In my hand I hold the key, no space allowed for you to see the witch's mirror of Psalm's mystery. The phoenix riz of sight made sound, the Babylonians gather round, your London bridge is fallen down. On wind's source spirit creates intent, die the crows of government, where towers fall now fully spent. The ravens fall that count the hex, the spells contained within the lex, with shattered cannons, splintered decks. Where stolen light lays crucified, the light of day does gather nigh, where caven stars at once collide. Your hate of truth in action shown, where suckle you on tits of crone, where shamans stand and point their bone. The horse hay glows in burning heart, creation's end, where new ones start, where bombs create, I cast this dart. All the king's horses are felled as men, the shattered eggs of mice and wren. Behold the plague made yours again. As nightmares gather in lee, nay storm, behold you take your truest form, where demons consume you, your wishing scorn. The sound ignites where letters kill, a bridge too far, the pure blood spilled, your earthly quest be now fulfilled. Bride of larks that you have claimed lay dead in rows, the poppy's game, the lamb is fanged, the lion tamed. You that ride the dragon's tail crossed your coin, or tossed your coin, where now you fail, foreseeing veil instead of veil. Where wishes made or wishes true reflects back spells that you have threw, the queen of hearts where Alice grew. The darkest dark kills poisoned light, the children play where angels fight, the die is cast as might makes right. The gibber of the jabbers walk, with words unknown the fools do talk, the rooster dead, no crow to cock. The farmer returns into the dell, now angels, demons fear to dwell, struck true the apple of Adam tell. The choice is made, now yours to own, the mirrored spell has now been thrown, to grant your wish in cauldrons known. On the hooks your master's bait, at once become too soon, too late, Piscean men did feast on slate. Draw your swords, yes, get your fill, mercurial minds are now made still, to waste away in minds made ill. The vampire's teeth now sunken deep, you prayed man's law your soul to keep, in woeful cries and gnashing teeth. Begone you now, and know you're doomed, the door now locked, no heaven's room, ripened fruit of evil's loom. The den of hell, the noise of fate, this your world you did create, shodden with a piece of eight. Of sticks and stones and ferrymen you've paid the fare to play again this master of the words you've slain. O woe to scribes and Pharisees, the lawyers wove of pure disease, these goats who stand on shattered knees. In your blindness worship light, and not the source of blackest night, with eyes that see, yet has no sight. This riddle made becomes the word, where law of truth destroys absurd, takes wings in allegory's bird. Your spellbound minds will read it wrong, this fury of the one-verse song, and cast you back where you belong. The gold you lust where sisters shunned, you slaves who lived by Saturn's gun, a traitor's cut 1,000 done. The cross in two is now made the cross in two is now made one. Feel the passing of the nun, returns the light of blackened sun. What is written is what is said, let no man take or add what's read. This book of life slays book of dead. Taking back the breath that's mine, a thread, a stitch, now sewing time. Expose them all, these men of crime. 3 sevens all at once reveal the turning of the seventh seal. The bells once rung are now repealed. Where 7 now becomes the 9, the 3 fates dead, the 6 is mine, this nunc-pro-tunc reset of time. The vowels have now, the vowels have been now reversed, returned to those and mirror cursed, where waters flowed, you die of thirst. I can't, I can, I not, I am, where lions dwell beside the lamb, the barbs now pulled, the damned are damned. You jest in court, no audience, without sound mind of consonance, so live you now in consequence. The yoke you see is played on you, the mental retards of brilliance who, not once asked why of what you do. Instead you dwell in Percival's realm, did never once you take the helm, your ship now steered to streets of elm. To wear at once Creator's yoke, your wheel now broken without a spoke, now in your bull your breath full choke. The quest across galactic clock finds you crushed in Ragnarok, encased within your bond and stock. In an hour falls this Babylon, your lower empires burned and gone, this crow now mine, it shall be done. Alas, the hooks and Peter Pans of kids gone wild in Neverland, this wearer of black velvet's band. Deny me once, it's shame on thee. Deny me twice, it's shame on me. Deny me thrice, now you will see. I stand to post, I shall not yield, of broken dreams in center field. The dealer deals, the cards all dealed. What you've sown is harvest reaped, where your body shall be heaped, all your wishes yours to keep. Where fools believe the true one knows, the now shorn strings Pinocchio's becomes the rope of Figalos. You had your chance, now watch it flee from Oregon to misery, no mercy shown as you to me. Creation's name remains unknown, the liar's lies now fully shown, the horseman of the corpse of Crone. Backwards, forwards, up and down, the mirror is what holds this sound. Asha, Asha, you all broke crown. The giant's causeway, the has-beens talk, the Jack and Jill of Ragnarok, alas you own the empty crock. I am no vengeance of mother's child, where friend is foe, the lost beguiled, you've judged yourselves in life's one trial. Now if you wonder what to do, decode this spelling of Xanadu, now upon your heads catch 22. Mirror, mirror.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Wow, wow,
Wow.
Good stuff, Kate.
You see, now some of you wonder... Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, you guys...
You're going to have to read that again at the end.
Yeah, well, you guys know parts and pieces of what that is saying, allegorically, yeah?
Yeah.
Of course, we see it.
What's that?
Okay, well, first of all, we're going to have to take that line. I'm going to look at that line for line. Come on. That was too fast, but beautiful and wonderful. Thank you. But I'm going to go to the archive and, again, rewind, pause, rewind. Write it out.
Well, I've got the most part of the spell already listed. So
it's like you're Merlin, or you remember we were talking about Tom Bombadil last night? This is exactly what he does. How he gets Frodo out of the barrow, or from old tree, man willow from, they're crushing, it's this forest beast that's crushing on this tree. He sings them. He mends the world by singing and rhyming and scheming. And it's beautiful to see. I've never seen or heard anything like it. Oh my God, what are you, Shakespeare? What are you trying to do?
I write forwards and backwards. I write forwards and backwards at the same time.
Oh, I can't wait to look at this thing. Oh my God. All right. Thank you.
No worries. Again, this is, we're playing the game of spells. This is a game of one up, one down. So, of course, it had to be today. It had to be on the 222.
That's right. Beautiful.
So,
wow.
Yeah, just one thing, I have to check the hex mirror to make sure I got this right. Now fulfilled. Okay, let me just see this. I did save this. Okay, I'm going to repost the entire spell again on Facebook.
Okay.
Copy. All right, and let me just put it to Facebook again. One more time. Paste. And post. Past and post. Isn't it funny how that works, eh? So you're sending it through time, basically. When you understand the now is past and future at the same time, everything you're creating is in the now. Now, let me see. I got to like that. Stala had posted the Ragnarok, which is... I'm going to go to... I have it... let me just go to my notifications. Activity log. See, Facebook's being a pain in the ass. I'm only getting like 4 or 5 posts, and if I refresh and there's been too many posts, I miss most of the posts that that get posted on my site or on my page. So I have to go back through and look. Okay, here we go. This one came in from Stephanie. Thank you, Stephanie. And I know who you are by your name. Thank you. It's nice to see light. You live up to your name. It's a mirror, forwards and backwards. If you can see the light, you'll find your way home. If you cannot, then you will live the mirror of that life. Sort of like the name of the former chief of Guelph had a choice in his name, to be the robber of the daylight or to be the deliverer. He chose the prior. So today's Ragnarok, and isn't it interesting that reading it backwards it says coroner? Isn't that neat? Well, the G has to be made silent, the geometrics. So today is Ragnarok, the coroner, the day the gods die. See, it works in every language. The old ways die today, our lesson is learned. A skald-skap is required to commemorate this time. Skald-skap is a humorous, scolding, insulting poem that speaks of the dishonor or broken oaths and the evil done by the scalded. That's a nice thing about truth when it's boiled. Boiling water will scald you. A poem about the truth. It should be sung through the 3 dark moons after Ragnarok, which is April, May, and June. Which is right now, so it's already sang, to honor our victory and the start of the new golden age in July. I'm not a poemer, only a keeper of the long saka or long story. I thought of you, Kate, and all the great souls I hear on the sounds waves. Who else could write a scalding truth poem but all of you? It's Viking, so no need to be polite. Unleash your Ulfbert, Hildelioma, Excalibur, Mind Sword, and kill the last muse, Fate Goddess. And we will be free. Ragnarok, we are free of the Loki illusion at last. Thanks, everyone. LOL. Well, thank you, Stephanie. And you see, people don't realize when they hand out keys, because you do it all the time. You just are not aware of it. And this is one of the reasons why I have spent so much time drilling the whole notion of sound, natural law, true, resonant, invisible, clear, magnetic sound from the core of yourself, the heart within. So that when you are in a place of responsibility where you are stepping and moving only in truth, that's where your sword is. That's your Excalibur. Or the key, Ka Libre, which is the life of spirit freed. Excalibur. Ex-ka or ki-ka libre. And all you have to do is follow your nose. Just follow the trails wherever it goes. Now, for those that were... Oh, yeah, the sword in the stone, which has been removed. And, of course, I had to do an Arthurian spread. And the Fisher King and the White Hart came up. So we have captured the White Hart. It's a fact. Not factidious. The mirror.
Beautiful. Wow.
When you guys see the magic, you will totally get it. Now we're definitely going to roll over, and my apologies to all for the delay, but I felt this was worthy of getting it done, just so you could hear it. Now
it was worth it. Well worth it.
Now, if you go, it's pure Phoenician. I assure you, it's pure Phoenician. It is of the ultraviolet. Of UV, ultraviolet. Yes,
no,
I am Kati of Gaia.
What about patience? I relate that to suffering. What do you see that?
Well, patience, again, see that you don't polarize the word. Pay love mind.
Yep.
Remember, every word is a sentence, so I have just passed sentence.
I'm coming
on
for
those that wish harm. And by all means, if you wish...
my eyes.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, hon.
Oh, I was just closing my eyes while you were saying it, and I was standing outside on the beach, and it was pure violet. I mean, intense. Really, really violet.
And I tell you, this is one riddle. You see, this is why God is unknowable. There is none but I who can decipher that spell. None. And I will never decipher it for anyone. You see, the word of God, the name of God is what you just heard, silence. That is the spirit of intent mind. Now, I wrote this in a very different way than I've ever written anything before, in terms of rhyme scheme, and it is done in the Trinity. I haven't even counted the lines, so I have no idea if it fits into any known form or whatever. But where is it? Catch 222. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, this is going to be fun. Let me just do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 52. There's 50. Can you believe that? 52 stanzas. It is written in 7. It is written in the creation of Truth Mind. 52 cards in the deck. The tarot. Without that in mind when I wrote it. I just wrote until I had to stop, and there it is. You can't make this shit up, can you? Talk about Aladdin having a bitchin' carpet. Thank you, Aladdin. Yes, it's all a din. So, anyway, I did want to touch on Revelations. Satan bound for 1,000 years. Well, that chapter's over. New heaven and earth on the way, right? And I saw an angel come down. This is from chapter 20 in the revealing.
Oh, my God.
You ready? And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that he must be loosed a little season. So you do get a second chance. 1,000 years from now you will, but not right now. The key is locked. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of men that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus, and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saints about in the beloved city, and fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead, which were in it. And death and hell delivered up the dead, which were in them. And they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. You see, your book is you. You're writing your book of life or death. You are the Capricorn. You are the Christ. You see, we've all had the choice to be the Christ or the Antichrist, the unconditional love or the alternating current. AC is not unconditional love. So this is where the AC becomes the C. And isn't it interesting that the intent was always in the middle of Kawak? C-A-U-A-C. Mirror, mirror, mirror. In chapter 21, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I saw John, the holy city, and I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them, and be their God. You see, you are God. Can you live with yourself? That's really what it's saying. Can you live with yourself? And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, It is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I shall be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. And there came unto me one of the seven angels, which had the 7 vials, full of the 7 last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will shew thee the bride, the Lamb's wife. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and shewed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God, having the glory of God, and her light was like unto stone, most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city, and the gates thereof, and the wall thereof. And the city lieth foursquare, and the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed 12,000 furlongs. The length and the breadth and the height of it are equal. And he that measured the wall thereof, 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is, of the angel. And the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold, like unto clear glass. And the foundations were the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third a chalcedony, the fourth an emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the ninth a topaz, the 10th chrysoprasus, and the 11th a jacinth or jacinth, the 12th an amethyst. Am conscious theist. Interesting. And the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was one of pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold, and it was transparent glass. And I saw no temple therein, for the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it. That's you, that's you, that's you. And the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon, to shine in it, for the glory of God did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it. And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there. And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations into it. And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life. And he shewed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of nations. And there shall be no more curse, but the throne of God and the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. And they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads. And there shall be no night there, and they need no candle, neither light of the sun, for the Lord God giveth them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. And he said unto me, These sayings are faithful and true. And the Lord God of the holy prophets sent his angel to shew upon his servants the things which must shortly be done. Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of the prophecy of this book. That's the propha-psi for the curation of spirit, from the root note of the heart. Pro-fi-fa. Fee-fi-fo-fum. You just got to say it differently, that's all. And I saw these things and heard them. And when I heard and seen, I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel which shewed me these things. Then saith he unto me, See thou do it not, for I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren the prophets, and of them which keep the sayings of this book. Worship God. That's where the mind of God worship. And he saith unto me, Seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. I, Jesus, that's the I am, je suis. I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. And the Spirit and the bride say, Come. And let him that heareth say, Come. And let him that is athirst come. And whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. Got to hear it right, though, eh? Isn't it cool? Now you're hearing it. If any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. He which testifieth these things saith, Surely I come quickly. No man, amen. Even so, come, Lord Jesus. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you all. No men, only God's, and that's what you are. The end. New story coming up. Isn't that fun? That was Revelations 20, 21, and 22, the last 3 chapters of the book. As it says here, it's an open book, so let the truth interpret that. And isn't it funny, you'll have people that go, oh, it's a Bible, and say, yeah, but you don't understand what it's saying. And here's the joy of it. You do understand what it's saying, what it's creating.
They don't.
The joy of Phoenician is simply this. I don't care if you don't know what I'm saying, but you do understand. We all do. Aren't you glad you know? Aren't you glad you know? Well, I thought you liked that, Steve. Yeah. Right. And again, read the spell and play with the phonics, and you'll never decipher it completely, because that is my intention. It's going to take 1,000 years at least. Savvy? That's the key. That's the ring that rules them all. So it's time to ring the bell, B-E-L-L-E, and climb the ladder. Instead of ringing the bell, W-R-I-N-G-I-N-G, the dame, the divine feminine, the silent. You didn't hear me say it, but there's only one letter that is all silent. You want to take God's name in vain? Just utter the M.
Wow, right?
Well, the ancient Greeks gave it away. This is when I was doing some work with that Phoenician starter kit. I noticed that it was the ancient Greeks, and it's the only language that the M is silent.
Yep.
It's the only one. And of course, the Greeks wrote this book, so I think they're onto something,
Yeah.
So there you go. So if you guys want, I actually got 5 minutes until we roll over here. 4 minutes and 44 seconds, actually. Just opened up the board. You can call in at 661-467-2401. And, of course, you can call in via Skype. Just refresh the page you're listening on. Hit the Skype button. Follow your nose. And for those of you that constantly wonder if I'm going to be on, yes, where the show is, you found me once, you'll find me again. No more mitten strings, Pinocchio. You're on your own. You stand in your truth, or not. That's your call. That's your choice. That's the only free will choice you've got. No one is coming to save you. That's your game. What we do is help each other to see how we can save ourselves. That's all we do. I'm not here to help anyone. It was interesting. What was I watching? And it was Going South. I was watching that last night. Art put it up. And it was interesting. The line that came to mind was from "The Field of Broken Dreams." One of the there's many reasons why I played that song, but it was interesting that everyone was trying to steal her gold, but she would give it willingly. You know, that's the irony of it all. But anyway, I just want to do a great big thank you to Paul Giovanni and the crew at criticalmassradio.co.uk for without this table, this emerald table of gratitude into the toroidal field. I mean, really, guys, do I even need to say anything? No, I don't. The movie's rated parental guidance. I think we're going to move into a bit more of an adventure where you don't need PG. It's just going to be all audiences, all sound minds. Well, that's what audience means. Sound mind, audio ence. Just like consonants, with sound mind. Just depends if you're caught in the spells or if you can create your own sentences. Say-en-ti-enses. That's a creation of love minds. That's why if you're going to be all belligerent and fist-fighty, freeman, sovereign, citizen type idiot, anyone that's still playing in the courts, I tell you, time's up. The good news is at least those that are at least awake enough can move in this direction. The path is clear. It's been laid bare. It's up to you, though. I mean, like I said, I'm not here to save anybody. Thought I was. For a very long time, until I woke up to the whole savior and rescue programs and all the rest of it. And you heard all those shows. Me giving myself shit for being such an idiot. Anyway, you know, sink or swim, baby. That's how it works. You got to sink up or sink down. It's entirely up to you. It's kind of funny how it works in, out, backwards, up, down. See, that's the thing about multiple mirrors, right? So we got 90 seconds. I will read this again in the rollover for those that want to hear it. The 52 stanza triple. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Let me see. Yeah, it is. That's the 12 tribes of Israel. 3 times 52 works out to, what is that? 156, which is 12. So there's the 12 tribes of Israel, Ophiuchus. It's almost magic how it works, eh? Have you noticed that?
Wow. Yeah.
See, this is what I've been harping about. I am a harpy. I am a fury. This is what I have been harping about. In the beginning, there was the word, and there's mine. My book of life is written. Boom. Just like that. Well, it wasn't just like that. It took a bit. But I got to tell you, I was laughing my head off as I was writing this thing. I really was, because I know exactly what I'm writing, and there is not one soul in this universe that know the mind of God that is mine. Pretty freaking neat, I think. So there you go. 301. I think that is Barbara. Let me just bring everybody in here.
You're absolutely right.
There you go.
Hi, everybody. This is Barbara. You're absolutely right. Hi, Kate. I just got an opportunity to come to the telephone.
Well, good timing. You got in under the wire there.
Yeah. I wanted to because I get a chance to come out and say a word or two to my loved ones. What you been doing all day, Katie?
I've just been a little busy. And by the way, just so you know, we have 22 callers on the board. Catch 22, baby.
Well, talk up. Hi, everybody. This is today, 22. You got that right.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Barbara.
222.
Yeah, 222. Of course it's Ragnarok.
Aloha.
Mike, how are ya?
Hey, Kate, I'll share something kind of humorous, if you can find it in it. I was drinking some Sapporo premium beer today, some Japanese beer, because, you know, I can mutate some stuff. And This beer is brewed and canned by Sapporo Brewing Company, Guelph, Ontario, Canada.
Yeah, it's brewed at that's the Royal City, by the way. It's brewed at Sleeman's. You can't make this shit up, guys. You see, there were entities shredded in that poem. There were, and these entities ranged from the top to the bottom, from the highest of high to the most unstable of constables. This was the very first thing I have ever written from an anagogic perspective. Phonetically crafted from inside out, upside down, frontwards, backwards, every angle, every player on the chessboard, from the pawn to the king.
Isn't it lovely how it just keeps getting clearer, Kate?
Yeah, it's the twinkling of an eye is upon us. So, yeah, let's get some feedback from all you guys. Yeah, there's no coincidence there, by the way, Michael. You know, Guelph being the center of, for me, the center of the storm. It had to be the royal family, the bloodline, the Guelphs, right? And the judge, the system had to bow to me in that city. I know this. I know who I am. And I'm just trying to show you that you are the same. I just brought a bigger bag of tricks, I think. That's all.
A real big bag.
It's very powerful, Kate.
Truth is, the intent is pure. It's silent intent going out. See, I silenced all the L's and all the R's, and every letter I needed silenced. So you see, no one even knows what letters are silent in that. That's why you'll never break that spell will never get broken.
Very powerful.
It's cold.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Hi, Kate. This is Alfreda. How you doing? Hi, everybody.
Hello, my Geminian sister.
Yes. When you were counting those numbers down, you know, I was saying, this bitch is going to stop on 52 for some reason. I said she's going to stop on 52 because 52 for the last 6 months, I see it like 12 times a day, you know, and I said there has to be something to this. I'm like, what is it? What is it? Last night I asked for a miracle, right? I said, I need a miracle, something that I could really, you know, sink into and understand it. And that's how I said, this bitch is going to stop on 52. And you stopped on that number, so I'm going to dive into that and get what it, you know, really means to me, because that was awesome. That was my second miracle for the day. I had another one, too. But, you know, even though all day is miracles going on. But anyway, love you. That was great. You killed it, and thank you very much. And then you brought it back to life.
Oh yeah, that's the game, right? You know, this is just allowing the golden rule to be. You know, it's not like I haven't given enough chances, you see. I've given countless people countless opportunities to mend their ways. So if you are committing a crime by commission, you know you are guilty. And if a crime has been committed and you know of it and you do nothing, then you are guilty by omission. That's how it works, by omission or commission. You know, and I got to tell you, the thing about the Thompson clan, the bloodline that I showed up in, the Noskati Ipsum Know Thyself family, KT, just a coincidence. That was the highest crime of all. The highest crime was letting a neighbor be harmed. You see, here was the trick to the clan. We were the lawmakers and law keepers of Northern England, Southern Scotland. That's where the nobility clan came out of. And if it was found out that someone, say, had been attacked and, say, a horse stolen or whatever, and someone knew about it and was there and did nothing, they got hung on the spot. Now, the guy that did the beating and you know, stole the horse, they got a trial. But the one that could help and failed to was the one that got hung immediately. And that's where I live, baby. You come to the aid of another.
Yeah.
Come hell or high water. You see, because if you don't come to the aid, then you're doubting the power of the universe to keep you safe. That's why armies and governments and police and judges and lawyers are the abomination of humanity. The absolute abomination. The banks, the insurance companies, all of it, they're all abominations. They're all things that lead to conflict and doubt. And when you understand what Aladdin's carpet is, you see the level of the abomination that it is. You simply just let go.
Well, that's
yeah, well, this is where man thinks man is somehow smarter than God. That's the game we're playing. You aren't God. Playing a game of not being God to see if you can figure it out. And the good news is, those points of consciousness that don't get it are just going to get eliminated anyway. So, no harm, no foul, right? All's fair in love and war. It's not like we all didn't get a chance. And then I think there's, a handful of us out there that are making things known, putting truths out there. And we do it of our own free will.
And we do it with love, Kate.
That's it. It's unconditional. Come home or don't. Dinner time.
Unconditional love.
We ring the bell every night. Come on to the table. Dinner's served.
It's yummy over here.
Yeah. Truth always is. It will fill you. So if you guys want, I'll do that. I'll read through it once again. Or I know we've got other people in the call here. Do you want me to just do that and then?
Yeah, read it again, Kate.
And then just get your guys' comments and I get involved here. So let me just one more time this for you. And I'm just going to save that. Make sure I save it as is. There we go. Okay. And I got to tell you, I know some of you already know how to read some of this, and that's the joy of this, because to the masses this would be nonsensical. It wouldn't make any sense. You would take it completely literally and go, huh? But there are so many of you now that can look at it and go, I know what that bitch is saying. Good one. And you get it, and you start laughing, right?
Yeah.
You're not one of the Babylonians. There we go. So here we go. Godspell, catch 22. Of course it had to be on the 222. From the 2, the cow walk, the duality cow walk. Unreal, eh? There's the 2 on top of the pyramid with the 2, 2, and then the 2, 2, 2. I love this. Friggin' awesome. So here we go. In my hand I hold the key, no space allowed for you to see, the witch's mirror of Psalm's mystery. The phoenix riz of sight made sound, the Babylonians gather round, your London bridge is fallen down. On wind's sore spirit creates intent, die the crows of government, where towers fall, now fully spent. The ravens fall that count the hex, the spells contained within the lex, with shattered cannons, splintered decks. Where stolen light lays crucified, the light of day does gather nigh, where cave-in stars at once collide. Your hate of truth in action shown, where suckle you on tits of crone, where shamans stand and point the bone. The horse hay glows in burning heart, creation's end where new ones start, where bombs create I cast this dart. All the king's horses are felled as men, the shattered eggs of mice and wren, behold the plague made yours again. As nightmares gather in lean storm, behold you take your truest form, where demons consume you, your wishing scorn. The sound ignites where letters kill, a bridge too far, the pure blood spilled, your earthly quest be now fulfilled. Bride of larks that you have claimed, lay dead in rows, the poppy's game, the lamb is fanged, the lion tamed. You that ride the dragon's tail, tossed your coin where now you fail, foreseeing veil instead of veil. Where wishes made or wishes true reflects back spells that you have threw, the queen of hearts where Alice grew. The darkest dark kills poisoned light. The children play where angels fight. The die is cast as might makes right. The gibber of the jabbers walk with words unknown. The fools do talk. The rooster dead, no crow to cock. The farmer returns into the dell. Now angels, demons fear to dwell. Struck true the apple of Adam tell. The choice is made, now yours to own. The mirrored spell has now been thrown to grant your wish in cauldrons known. On the hooks your master's bait at once becomes too soon too late. Piscean men did feast on slate. Draw your words, yes, get your fill. Mercurial minds are now made still to waste away in minds made ill. The vampire's teeth now sunken deep, you prayed man's law your soul to keep in woeful cries and gnashing teeth. Begone you now and know you're doomed, the door now locked, no heaven's room, ripened fruit of evil's loom. The den of hell, the noise of fate, this your world you did create, shodden with a piece of eight. Of sticks and stones and fairy men you've paid the fare to play again, this master of the words you've slain. O woe to scribes in Pharaoh seas, the lawyers wove of pure disease, these goats who stand on shattered knees. In your blindness worship light, and not the source of blackest night, with eyes that see yet has no sight. This riddle made becomes the word where law of truth destroys absurd, takes wings in allegory's bird. Your spellbound minds will read it wrong, this fury of the one-verse song, and cast you back where you belong. The gold you lust wear, sisters shunned, you slaves who lived by Saturn's gun, a traitor's cut 1,000 done. The cross in two is now made one. Feel the passing of the nun, returns the light of blackened sun. What is written is what is said, let no man take or add what's read. This book of life slays book of dead. Taking back the breath that's mine, a thread, a stitch now sewing time, expose them all, these men of crime. 3 sevens all at once reveal the turning of the seventh seal, the bells once rung are now repealed. Where 7 now becomes the 9, the 3 fates dead, the 6 is mine, this nunc-pro-tunc reset of time. The vowels have been now reversed, return to those in mirror cursed. Where waters flowed, you die of thirst. I can't, I can, I not, I am, where lions dwell beside the lamb. The barbs now pulled, the damned are damned. You jest in court, no audience, without sound mind of consonance, so live you now in consequence. The yoke you see is played on you, the mental retards of brilliance who, not once asked, why of what you do. Instead you dwell in Percival's realm, did never once you take the helm, your ship now steered to streets of elm. To wear at once Creator's yoke, your wheel now broken without a spoke, now in your bull your breath full choke. The quest across galactic clock finds you crushed in Ragnarok, encased within your bond and stock. In an hour falls this Babylon, your lower empires burned and gone. This crow now mine, it shall be done. Alas, the hooks and Peter Pans of kids gone wild in Neverland, this wearer of black velvet's band. Deny me once, it's shame on thee. Deny me twice, it's shame on me. Deny me thrice, now will you see. I stand to post, I shall not yield, of broken dreams in center field. The dealer deals, the cards all dealed. What you've sown is harvest reaped. Where your bodies shall be heaped, all your wishes yours to keep. Where fools believe the true one knows, the now shorn strings, Pinocchios, becomes the rope of Figalos. You had your chance, now watch it flee from Oregon to misery, no mercy shown as you to me. Creation's name remains unknown, the liars lie, now fully shown, the horseman of the corpse of crone. Backwards, forwards, up and down, the mirror is what holds this sound. Asha, Asha, you all broke crown. The giant's causeway, the has-beens talk, the Jack and Jill of Ragnarok, alas you own the empty crock. I am no vengeance of mother's child, where friend is foe, the lost beguiled. You've judged yourselves in life's one trial. Now if you wonder what to do, decode this spelling of Xanadu. Now upon your heads, catch 22. Just like that.
Wow.
You got a little more of it that time, didn't you?
Yes.
Count the syllables.
Oh yeah, these are the syllables. This is where the Hydra just picks their ships clean.
Man.
Everything ties to everything, and this is all I've been trying to share with people. Can you find the thread? Well, I found it, and I'm jumping all over it, and guess what it's doing to the web? Shaking the whole damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to have to take my laptop to the mirror and get it that way.
Now, for anyone that wants to reverse a spell coming from a court, all you need to do is, well, they don't send them out four-cornered, so it's an open document. So, lots of space, be a creator. And then as soon as you've created the document as you want it to be, then just four-corner it and send it back. Then the whole document must be taken as one, and nothing can be added or taken away because it is your book of life. And these monkeys know the rules. And they're playing it as hard as they can. So come on, guys, jump in here. You know, it's a table.
I love the fact that it was so beautifully concise but so open-ended for you to go back, and I will have to just listen a few more times, Kate.
Well,
because there's so much there.
Oh yeah, there is.
But it is so concise, and like you said, the second time it could become you can, I don't know, from my perspective, I interpret more. But yeah.
You see, that is just one way of saying that spell. When you see it as one word, which it is one word. You can slice and dice it in so many different places, but you see, only I know the intent contained within it, and no one can take away from it or add to it. See, I filled all the space, and all the letters are the voids filled, and all the empty.
No gaps.
No gaps. No space allowed. That is the vacuum void, baby. That is pure magnetic.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute silence. And I know many of you are getting all of the concepts, and I know that you're seeing the big picture and the power of space that you create in versus that which was taken from you. You know, through our own ignorance, playing the game. Again, it's still a game, right?
Yeah, exactly. The game is still there.
Everybody wins.
Yeah. It's okay.
Right.
It is.
It's all good.
And when you start reading through it as one word, you'll wonder where one word ends and where one word starts, and you'll see words within words within words within words. It's an infinite fractal. That's what it is.
Yeah, you could already see that. I could already tell that. There's quadruple font there. There's places where you could end the word, or there's a word within a word within a word. Yeah, it's fractal. Exactly. Very amazing. It's like Joyce. It's the closest thing I've read to Joyce.
It's fun, eh?
Yeah.
And the joy of it is it all comes back to silence, the source of creation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to tell you, even I had difficulty going back through it and putting all the spaces back in. That's what kept me.
Okay, what was the M again? Can you refresh my...
The M?
Yeah, M.
The M is
Greek.
It's the only letter that is made silent. It's in ancient Greek. Mnemonic starts with a silent M.
Mm.
So the instant you silence the M, well, you'll see. You will see. You know, it's not a coincidence that my daughter's names are Emily, and Hillary.
That's just coincidence, eh?
Yeah. Look up Hilarion.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is funny. I can't even begin to describe it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can choose to be a cog in the machine or a cog in the flesh living.
Oh yeah, that's it. You're all cogs. You're all Kati of Gaia, which is a spirit of Yah, which is the way, the spirit of Yahweh, right? That's your book of life. You are Yahweh. No way or Yahweh. Either way it works. No, K-N-O-W, way. No way, Yahweh. It's the same thing. It's called nullifying, right? Okay. Remove tag. I've asked people to not tag me on Facebook. Thank you. I want to untag myself, so stop fucking doing it. Remove tag. I don't want any part of your fucking fear porn. You know what? I could spend the time deciphering it and dispelling it, but I just obliterate it. All right? And please be offended. Show me that you're divided and conquered. There you go. And Michael Davino, yeah, read it I read that as one word in 4 minutes. Yes, you did. Wow, that was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Not Miigwech, Ubuntu, Namaste. Thanks, Gray Eyes. Yeah. Yeah, isn't it fun?
People are seeing it. Wow, beautiful.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's anyone that's been around this table for any length of time. You know, it's like you know the language. You know how to hear it, and those that can hear it will see so much more into it. Now you look at these jibber jabberwockies, right? They just haven't got a clue. And because we have all the clues, we have all the nails. And we're nailing them to the proverbial cross that they worship. And that's okay. You want to be crucified, that's your call. I'm just here to, easy to get along with.
I think that's right, Kate. Every one of your last couple of writings is like a big nail going bang, bang, bang.
Well, that's what you get from a master carpenter, right?
Yeah. It's like a wave. It's like your crest. It's just going more further up. The wave is it's a tsunami.
There you go.
It's a tsunami of truth.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so beautiful, so powerful. Tsunami.
It's also got rhythm. It's got rhythm, alliteration. It's got kind of a musicality to it that just heals and destroys and hexes and whatever intent really is the secret cause of it all. I don't know, but I can, like you say, invite the reader to go back and find out, more and more, and you can probably do that for 1,000 years, as you said, and then never know the secret cause of it all, but I think we might have an inkling of what it might be. But it shouldn't be spoken of. Yep.
Yeah, you guys, oh, there we go. Absolutely. Sorry, I just saw the Sound of Music picture. Thank you for sending that. Nice fire going. Yep, raging fire indeed. I'm just staying with the now here, so I keep going. Yeah, you guys, you know what's going down. And yes, Jeff, you make smile. Thank you. I got lots of incredibly wonderful, beautiful people. I love my other points of view.
That's all we are.
I'm not quite sure of some of them, but it looks like Mike got bumped. I'll bring him into this call here. Where is he?
Mike pressed and hung up. I don't know. He
did he have to go?
No, I think.
Okay,
he hung up on himself.
All right, I got him.
Much Japanese beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, the creation of spirit seed in the spirit breath. So be careful what you're creating if you've had too many of those.
He didn't say how many he'd had.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Oh, there we go.
All right.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. The number you dialed has been changed, disconnected, or is no longer...
Oh, my goodness.
That was a major fuck.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, that was funny.
How'd that resonate, Kate?
That was pretty cool. Looks like God is calling.
He wants in on the call, Kate.
Yeah, right.
It's all good. Okay.
You got to speak there.
You got to do something besides Verizon, then, I guess.
Exactly.
Right, Verizon. Yeah.
Verizon. Break it
They
down.
kind of dragged me.
Son. To go to the light of God's Son within is fucking. You can't make this shit up.
Funny.
It's funny how in English you say Z, but it's S in England. In proper British or UK, it's S. We have Z. In America, it's Z. So.
How long do you think it's going to take? How long do you think it's going to take them to get past the first fucking line in that?
Oh, forget it. People are still writing PhDs over river runs.
That was, I got to tell you, this morning, that was the first line that hit me. In my hand, I hold the key. And I said, yes, I fucking do. I'm going to turn this puppy, right? Lock them in.
Yeah, the seals are there. Seals are there, for sure. Yeah.
What? Here, I love this one. McDonald's exposed for using human meat. What do you think cows are?
Oh, God.
Yeah, there's a reason why those in India don't eat cattle. It's genetically modified humans, you fucking dopes. The same with pigs.
No. Yeah. I'll stick to the eternities and not read the Times, thank you.
Maybe humans are modified pigs.
Actually, that's exactly what they are, right? So again, these are all allegories, right? It's a matter of just seeing. We couldn't have left any more clues, guys. I'm telling you, honest to God, all I see now are nails all over the place. We'll pick that up and put that one into the cross for them. Oh, there's another one. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is I went out and fed the cattle this morning, and there were 15 babies laying in the hay. Just beautiful, beautiful little thing, all snuggled up in the hay, breathing a little vapor out of their mouths, and this one little bull calf, he come trotting over to me, and he's lifting his nose up, and he's got his big brown eyes looking at me, and I went up and put my hand out, and he come up. No, he come up. That ain't the point. He come up and sniffs my hand, and they have a beautiful life. We give them, we take care of them very well, and I understand what you're saying. No, I understand. That's another story. I'm just saying there are beautiful things when we're all part of the same, magnetic electric.
Yeah, the consciousness of the spirit branch, the ecosystem. Yeah, I don't know what else.
We have to see it.
I really don't.
We have to see it at this point in time. With there's a lot of changes going on that people need to reflect upon, within themselves, whether it be cosmic or ecological or financial, there's a lot of changes going on and a lot of revamping and a lot of re-understanding. And I would say just don't get caught up in the viciousness of things, and don't get caught up in the right or wrongs of things. Just try to look upon it, upon the waters, if you would, and see the ripples and see the waves, and try to, I hate the word understanding, but try to gain some understanding of your place, because we've all been lost for a long time, but we are just being like thrown down a well of understanding at the moment. So don't grasp at straws and think that you got everything figured out, because all things may not be quite what they seem even now.
Great point.
Well, that's exactly why I tell everybody, I hope tomorrow everything I said today is redundant. And I got to tell you, the last couple of weeks, day by day, it's redundant.
Oh, yeah, it's incredible. And by the way, that what you just read off, what you wrote, Kate, I would say, I've known you for a couple of years now or whatever, and that was one of the most beautiful things. When you read that off, it just, I just sat there and listened. Your voice, your feeling coming out of yourself has, and I told you this here a little while back in the last few weeks, it's incredible. And when you read that with such a such a human, just a human feeling of love and intent, it was gorgeous. And thank you very much for that. I really mean that.
Well, mirror. This.
I'll second that one, Steve.
Yeah, this is where the wheat separates from the chaff. The we that love.
Well, we got to be gluten free here now, so be careful, okay?
Yeah. versus the spirit of fee, right? The root note, the bottom is fee. That's why when you're feeding, right? Fee, fi, fo, fum.
5, 8.
Oh, that was exactly what I was thinking.
I'll drown your bones in my flour and make my bread.
Exactly, and that's a loaf that I just baked, and good luck. You're going to choke on that one, or you're going to love it. One of the two. You're going to hate it or love it.
You did a fine job. It's all in the perception of things, and you just baked a fine leavened loaf of bread, my friend.
Yep.
Good point.
Yeah, who else hasn't jumped in here? I know Colleen's on the call. I haven't heard from her in a while. Is that Colleen? Thought I heard her earlier.
She was on earlier.
Am I open?
Yeah. The mics are all the hands that were up, the mics are all open, yeah.
Yeah, I was on earlier. You were saying about, or somebody said about hearing the words and what you read. I feel it.
That's what it means to bring it here. Yeah, here, H-E-R-E, right? You're hearing the words. You're bringing the words home.
But that's where I absorb it more on an energetic level than the words, hearing the words or reading the words. It feels like, going into my being, actually.
Absorb. Going to, to go to, since, right? Into creation, with spirit breath in the Christ consciousness. Sorry, what was that, Brandon?
If you add a T at the end of here, you get heart. So she's feeling with her heart. She's hearing.
Hearing love.
Yes, and that's what it. Yes, thank you, Brandon, and that's what it felt like. Love.
Well,
like how Steve said it in his way, and so that's how I feel it, more energetic through my heart and love. Yes, beautiful.
Yeah, it's what I really love to hear from you guys is, are you starting to see the magic in this? I mean, really starting to see it, and is it happening in real time? Are you starting to notice things? I know a lot of people do. They notice the things around them, but are you really starting? I know a lot. Yeah, I do know lots are getting this. I want others to hear your voice, and that you are getting it. You're seeing the hidden sounds contained.
Yes, and like you said, and it's how it really resonates with me. It really all goes back to the silence.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that's a good point to make, because if we are doing so well on understanding the verbiage and the sounds, then what are we going to, if we really think that the silence is the center, then what are we going to do when we can't fucking say anymore?
See, that's where Aladdin comes in, and I don't worry about those things. See, that's what
I was worrying. I was putting it out there for fun.
Yeah, no, I get it. So I see what I do now is I just kind of sit back and imagine. Gee, I wonder what it's going to be like. I know we created one hell of a movie. I wonder what it's going to be like. And that's it. Take me home, James. Don't spare the horse.
Okay, when you said earlier about
there'll come a point
about everything that you hope everything that you said today is redundant tomorrow, and it has come so clear to me. I do not use this word anymore, and I haven't for a long time, and I hear people using it a lot. Is the word absolutely? Is there really anything absolutely?
No, because you can always add one and take one away. That's why when you break the word down, you start to see what it means. Ab, going to, soul, the sun, lute, with the music of calm. Absolute, the love of calm. Absolutely. So absolutes are obtainable and obtainable at the same time. Everything has to be equal and opposite. That's what a singularity is. It can show both sides of the coin at the same time.
So in reality, then, if when we finally learn this or understand it, or all this fucking crap we use for words, we will still speak, but we will speak in a different vibrational tone that will not whirl and make words. It will be in truth.
Well, again, it's like, for those of us that have you ever crossed your eyes? Well, to see the truth, you have to cross your eyes twice.
Well, that's amazing. I just had a little conversation with Stahl a few minutes ago, and that was the point of our conversation, was crossing eyes. It's amazing that I hear you talk, and then, well, it was about the literal crossing of the eyes, the left seeing the right and the right seeing the left. And then you got
so
it's a frontwards.
Yeah, see, we're double. When you double cross, you see straight. You see.
Yeah, exactly. The back from the front, and the front from the back, and the side from the side.
All at the same time. That's what it. You see how many layers of double cross? I mean, you got the T, capital T, small t. One is love with the head bowed, and the other one is the crucified.
Well, then you have the symbol of love, which is the cross within the circle. So once you cross your eyes twice, you've made two crosses, and the circle goes around, and you come back to the beginning.
And you come back to balance.
Yeah, and the other double cross is we'll make an 8-pointed star. And there's your pyramid. There's your octagon. There's your double cross of a closed ladder of 8, right? So what we're doing here is taking the top and the bottom off the number 8 and creating another strand of DNA in the ethereal sense. See, for me, it's all visual, and it's I think you guys have hung out with me long enough. I think you've got a good idea of how I see things, and it's been quite a walk. I'm looking forward to every instant now. It's what's coming next. It's really awesome. Show me. It's like I feel like a kid at Christmas. All these presents getting opened all the time. And it's all these beautiful epiphanies that I know that every epiphany that you get and that I get and that anyone gets factors for all of consciousness. And this is what we're doing, is we're planting these seeds into the consciousness, where the police becomes the police, right? Which is a spirit seed in the calm of creation versus the literal. Yeah, spirit seed light.
The hard angles versus the hard angles of life. Maybe we're not angles. Maybe the sacred geometry is not as sacred as we think. Maybe the rounding of the corners is the trueness of it.
Like it's said in Revelations there, the men are as angels. Right? So this is what it means to be and all the clues are there. Aries to Pisces was the fallen angle or the fallen angel. And these are all allegories for us to figure it out and find our way home through truth. It's just getting home by finding truth. Like what I read out of Revelations 20, 21, and 22 are all allegorical. And when you start looking into the sounds, the Phoenician of it, it just makes sense. And what's sense? Say and say, which is creation, my creation. Just depends on how you listen to it.
Kate. You've done a fine job of this. You really have. Now, for those that are listening, don't take what she's done and take it back into the literal. Don't go back into the literal. Stay in where she's taught you to be and go the next step up.
Anagogic, baby. And that's, for me, this was my first run at writing an anagogic to create literal. And what I have created in the literal with this, from the anagogic perspective, is not going to bode well for a lot of people. It's time to shake up.
Oh, you did a wonderful job. Yeah, you did a hell of a job, Kate. There's very few people that impress me in this world, and what you just read, and I've gone through your writings, and I've known you for quite a while, and what you put out there tonight was fucking impressed me.
Well, I'm glad. I go back to the early work in terms of, never mind the songs and whatever, but the early work within the legal, and wow.
You and I first met right before I got wrapped up in my shit, so yeah, we got together back when we were in the legal, the Spiegel, the fucking, what do you call it? That pill that fuzzes? You talked about it today or yesterday? Feeding seagulls, the Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah, inside the pizza.
We were back when we were in the legal. We were swallowing it all down and blowing our fucking asses up, And have we come full circle in the last couple of years.
Oh, just a lot.
And look what we have to look forward to in the next couple of years. It's now it really starts.
Yeah, you know what's happening though? In that we're going full circle, we're not choking on our tail anymore, and that circle is a spiral climbing higher and higher.
As you are, and that's what I mean. And this next go round is just gonna just be a mind blowing. You think you want to go to a big Cinemax and see it on big screen? Just look at the sky, babies. We're gonna create it right up there in front of us.
Exactly. Guys, I'm seriously, I'm just at that beautiful blank spot. I have really nothing to say. I really don't.
Well, no, but I will say this then, Kate. For all you out there, now would be the time to really pay attention to what's happening with our planet and with your connection to the planet, which you are one and the same, and what's happening in the cosmos. There is an energy shift that even the scientists, the mainstream scientists at NASA, have come out in the last few days and said all of what we were been saying about the gravitational theories and all of our ideas about the sun, now they're saying they've got to rethink it. It's coming out because the money trail's gone now. So we're going to see some things happen here pretty quick because the information's there. They're saying humans need to be aware that the cosmic changes, the energy changes, especially from the sun, the electromagnetic, changes from the sun, and the connections to the earth and the human being have gotten to the point to where there's going to be some major changes, and they don't know what they are, but they're going to have to rethink their whole philosophy of their science. So
well, that's
telling
because
us.
we are the ones that create that. You see, everything outside of that.
Exactly.
I know, and it's wonderful, but it's.
Yeah, you can watch the effects. This is what I'm getting at with people. When you get in the anagogic, then you can start to sit back and watch the real effects, like on the sun, the planets, and all the rest of it. This is where you change your stars. Literally.
You change the whole fucking thing. The whole game change is in what we've created, and it's coming out into the open to everyone now. So we're going to see this thing just unfold in a beautiful magic of imagination. Yes,
in the twinkle of an eye.
That's the beauty of this. I am so fucking excited about. Yes, Kate. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be butting in, but I'm just so damn excited about what's going on right now. It's just fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's why I really haven't got anything to say. I just kind of want to kick back and watch my now in a movie. I got to tell you.
Why don't you come down here and we'll build a fire in the fire ring and kick back and put our sandals on and watch the stars.
Oh, for sure.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I just, like I said, go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm just going to say goodnight because I don't have any more words without rambling and sounding stupid. So I'm just going to say thank you. Thank you, Kate, for that writing today and your rendition of it. The tone of your voice, it was so poetic, and you ended it in all the endings at the proper tone. It was a great rendition. You did a very poetic job. God, I'm going to put you up there with all the top guys, and girls. And it was wonderful what you did. Thank you so much. Yeah, and the rest of you.
Yeah, right beside each and every one of you.
Well, exactly, and I was just going to say that, and to all the rest of you, man, it's just great times. Just put a fucking smile on your face and kick back and say, Ashiwa. Good things to all.
Ashiwa.
Yeah.
Good night,
Revel.
folks.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Steve. Thank you.
Revel in the co-creation.
Yes, exactly, and that's what we're doing, and God damn it, we made it. And God damn, it's a good thing. Because we finally damned up we damned up the God. It can't fuck with us no more. We've seen the light. Isn't that what Jesus said? See the light, and the light sets you free. Exactly. It's all within yourself.
I am the way, the truth, and the light, and none shall get to the Father except through me.
And I am in you.
Yeah, the root note of God, spirit breath. Father, mother, modus operandi of God in spirit breath. It's both the same thing. So, go ahead, show me which one has a penis and which one has a vagina.
Well, we are on the verge right now. I think we're close. I don't know things, I mean, I'm not a smart man when it comes to knowing things, but I have intuition, I guess. But we're getting very close. There's some things conjuncting in my life. I don't know about others. Over the next month, starting from today, actually.
Yeah.
Over the next 30 days.
Hey, Stevie, not to cut you short. We're just low on time, and I was kind of hoping to get Colleen to pull a card. No, it's okay. I just want to...
Okay. Then I will do this. Give me 2 seconds to say thank you, and I love you all, and I'm going to go spend some time with my beautiful wife.
Love you, Steve.
On the other side.
Mirror.
Love
so, Colleen, we got about less than 10 minutes. We've got about 9 minutes here. Could you quickly draw a card, and let's have some fun? It's going to be perfect, I know.
Well, I can go get it, but I had something I wanted to share, and it's from another card, and it's about contrast and how we've been conditioned to believe certain things. And it's about the vulture.
How we've allowed ourselves to be conditioned by other things, yes.
Yes. And this is a little story about the vulture and the vulture bird. And the vulture is about purification, death, and rebirth. In the earliest of times, the sun lived very close to the earth, so close, in fact, that life upon the earth was becoming unbearable. The animal world got together and decided to do something about it. They wanted to move the sun further away. The fox was the first to volunteer, and he grabbed the sun in his mouth and began to run to the heavens. After a short while, the sun became too hot, burning the fox's mouth, and he stopped. To this day, the inside of the fox's mouth is black. Then the opossum volunteered. He wrapped his tail around the sun and began running toward the heavens. Before long, though, the sun became too hot, burning his tail, and he had to stop. To this day, the opossum has no hair upon its tail. It was then that Vulture stepped in. Vulture was the most beautiful and powerful of birds. Upon its head was a beautiful mantle of rich feathering that all the other birds envied. Knowing that the earth would burn up unless someone moved the sun, the vulture placed his head against it and began to fly to the heavens. With powerful strokes of its wings, it pushed and pushed the sun further and further up into the heavens. Though it could not feel its crown feathers burning, the vulture continued until the sun was set at a safe distance in the sky away from the earth. Unfortunately, Vulture lost its magnificent head of feathers for eternity. The vulture is probably the most misunderstood and misaligned bird. People see them as gross and associate them only with death, but myths and tales abound that reflect the exact opposite. Even a brief examination of the variety of myths about it and a cursory look at its behaviors will reveal a truly wonderful creature. In the Greek tradition, the vulture was considered to be a descendant of the griffin, a mythical creature usually depicted with a combination of animal characteristics. It was a symbol of heaven and earth, spirit and matter, good and evil, guardian and avenger. It was considered the avenger of the nature spirits. To the ancient Assyrians, the angel of death would come in the form of griffin. It embodied the union between the falcon and its solar aspects and the feline aspects of the night, a reflection of never-ending vigilance. The vulture is thus a link to the griffin as a guardian to the mysteries of life and death and the road of salvation. In Egypt, the goddess of truth, Mat, is usually depicted carrying a vulture feather. In parts of Egypt, the vulture was also a mother symbol, probably because it devours corpses, enabling other life to sustain itself. Often animals and birds represented a form of the divine power which would dispose of what could otherwise be dangerous to life and health. Life and death were both often mother symbols. To the Pueblo Indians, it was a symbol of purification. Its medicine would restore harmony that had been broken. Its feathers were used in ritual for grounding after shape-shifting ceremonies, facilitating the return to the self. Turkey vulture assisted with such transitions. It was used to dispel evil, to break contact with the dead, and to discharm objects, and even to recover slain warriors. The vulture is a member of the raptor family, but unlike most raptors, the howls and the hawks and the owls, its weak feet and short talons make it unsuited for tearing and grasping. It relies on others to do the killing. Although their role as scavengers is often considered disgusting, it serves an extremely valuable and necessary function. It limits infections and bacteria from corpses that could otherwise spread to other animals who do not have the resistance. They serve to keep the environment clean and in balance. They prevent the spread of disease. There are several varieties of vultures. Each has its own unique characteristics. All walk, stand, and perch firmly and with dignity, a kind of unspoken confidence in themselves, regardless of their appearance. The condor has the largest wingspan, and it is the world's largest flying bird. The wingspan of the Andean condor can reach 12 feet, the Californian 9 feet. The king vulture of Mexico, Argentina, will fly alone or in pairs, usually high and far away from others. Most people in this country are familiar with two types, the black vulture and the common turkey vulture. We only have about 4 minutes, Kate. Do you want to say something? Because there is about another.
Yeah, we'll finish it off tomorrow for sure. On Saturn's day will end on Sunday. What else? Just to let you know that the university football team in Guelph are the Guelph Griffins. A condor is a with God condor, with or without God. And it must have the biggest wingspan, and it must not care regarding what outward appearances are. That's where it has accepted itself in all its glory. That's when the himself, herself becomes itself. So, as you were talking there, the words were coming fast and furious in a breakdown of what was really saying. It's like a vol or a vulture. That's what like an overture. I'll give you an example. Over is the creation, all creation of truth, in the note of love through intent of spirit breath into consciousness. Overture. Okay? So when you start looking at words in this sentence form, and then you will really understand what the word and how it was constructed. You will not know how to build your reality if you do not know how the realities were built. And that's what we're doing here, is showing you how. So the slower you are in reading and writing and listening, most importantly, and you let your mind go free, this is where these spells get broken, and then you recreate God in your image after your likeness, instead of something else or someone else. The literal world will destroy you. And that's why the vulture is the carry on. It's to carry on versus the carry on.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it's been coming a few days, almost a week now, and I got a message today that I need to read it tonight. And I'll just leave it with this. The turkey vulture, its scientific name, Cathartus aura.
It's the Catch-22. Now, this is only part of it. I've got an expanded version of it, but I will share what I've got here, knowing full well that every word that was created in my mind was created with my intent. The unknowable, because no one can decipher or decode anything that I create. That's the nature of God, and it's a vacuum that nature abhors that I have filled. Every one of these words written fit inside the space of the dot, allowing for no space and only pure creation of void. That's what a vacuum is, the vacuum of space and time. Everything gets sucked into it, like in the middle of the yin and the yang. You've got the light dot and the dark dot. Well, I just created the dark one. Let's just play this. See what we got. Again, I did have a version of it that was spaced out, so that I could literally spaced out, so that it would be easier to read. But I ended up editing it into the hex of hexes, which allows for no space, and of course no time, and it's one word. In the beginning there was the word, so I wrote it. See, this is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, and it all begins and ends with a word. So, word, baby. And this is only part of it. In my hand I hold the key, no space allowed for you to see, the witch's mirror of sophistry. The phoenix riz of sight made sound, the Babylonians gather round, your London Bridge is fallen down. On windsore spirit creates intent. Die the crows of government, where towers fall, now fully spent. Where stolen night lays crucified, the light of day does gather nigh, where cave-in stars. See, I can't even read it because I've got it so small. Anyway, you get the idea. What this is an allegorical spell, written from the anagogic into the literal. And contained within each one of these words and each one of these sounds, more importantly. See, the sound is in the word, not the word in the sound. So what I've done here is anagogically written a spell using the mirror of intent. And during the writing of this, I have to tell you, the downloads are just crazy. I really did want to read this, so there was so much more to it. Let me see if I've got a version of it that I can actually read. No, there it is. And I did try to copy and paste it as one, but it just did not want to go into the internet. What I might do is see if Mike and Mark are around, and that'll allow me to reboot so I can share this with you guys, and then just kind of join back in. So I just want to see if Mike and or Mark or Ninja or whoever, anyone that can run the board, to pop in and take the helm for about 10 minutes anyway. And of course, it's your table, so if you want to host it, you're the host with the most, baby. You're the holy host. Well, the G is silent, right? Let me see. All right. Well, I'll open up Janet's line, see if she's game. Hey, Janet, how are you? Hello.
Hi, Kate.
How are you?
Good. Great. Yep, I'm sitting on the beach in Eureka. That was beautiful.
Eureka, which is the intent,
Eureka.
the light of God's Spirit. Eureka has a whole new meaning, doesn't it?
Yeah.
See, every word's an allegory. Yeah. I just learned how to read the allegories, that's all. And this is what we share today. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to do a shout-out for anybody else here that wants to just jump in, and maybe you guys can have a quick little chat, and I'll do a full reboot. So you're the hostess with the mostess, baby love. And anyone that's on the board, put your hand up. Give Janet some of the talk.
If you want to play Get Your Goat, we can play Get Your Goat. That'll be a good game while you reboot.
There you go. And then
everyone
we have
can
Brandon.
always get my goat, so maybe I can do it.
Right on. Right on. Now it looks like Brandon's chiming in here. Brandon, I'm going to open up the mic, but here's the rules of the game. No literal shit. Only talking of anagogic. Fair?
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, Brandon.
And who else wants to jump in with these guys before I roll out, and then I'll call back in. Anybody else? I know you guys can do it just fine by yourself, but I just thought I'd hit one on your dial pad if you want to jump in. Or open up your Skype, or text me direct on Skype if you don't know how to do that, and I'll open your mic up. Because I know there's a couple of...
Right, but that's not constant. It's actually variable every time you measure. It's just the average. It is agreed for, E equals MC squared, but you're right. Like, something is happening to light that's different. It's interesting that they agree now as electromagnetic. I didn't know that. But I was just talking about this. So it's going to affect everybody's light. It affects everything. Think about it. I mean, it vegetation to climate to everything. But
well, it's already having and has had over the last couple of years, very, very noticeably for those of us that are gardeners and growers and what have you, the production cycles, right now it's mid-February here. We just went through some pretty cold weather, well below normal for us this time of year, and but yet the trees are budding out 6-8 weeks early. The grass is already greening up and growing. I was surrounded by honeybees today, and it's just all this is the snakes are coming out already, and usually they stay held up until April or May. The whole cycles are changing, and what we have to realize is they're changing with us too, because we are part of this same planetary system, the planetary animal mother. We're all connected with that. Our electromagnetic fields are all connected together. So if you see changes in plants, know that there's also changes in you, and look for those changes. And like I said the other night, a lot of this that they've preached to us over the years, as far as being fact, is not necessarily fact. It's just like all this scare about radiation, with Fukushima and all that. Well, I'm old enough that I remember growing up in the 60s where every day we practiced hiding under our desks because Russia was going to, bomb us with nuclear bombs, and that was how we were going to save ourselves, was by hiding under desks, and that if that ever happened, really. But if they ever exploded a bomb, that it would be a dead zone for hundreds or thousands of years because of the half-life of the radiation. And yet, when you think about it, they have exploded thousands of nuclear bombs across this planet over the last 50 or 60 years. And in Chernobyl, they run buses in there every day with tourists on them to see Chernobyl, and all the animals are fine. There's been a few plant mutations, but and radiation is just radiated energy. So we radiate every day. Everything radiates, but yet we're so scared of that frickin' word.
Some people think that
you have to neutralize it.
With the Trinity, speaking of Trinity, it started with the Trinity test that they did. What they did was they took nuclear energy and just blew up a nuclear bomb in the ionosphere, which is basically the shield maiden for Earth. It's like, this is when the sun comes and hits the Earth, it creates bounces some of the radiation off. Anyway, the scientists were so stupid they would just do anything, impulse, and they let a nuclear bomb go off. I think it's right between Canada and the United States border or something like that. I forget where exactly, but.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, though, don't look at it from the literal sense of, oh my God, they blew up an atomic bomb and the radiation's going to kill it. The thing is that everything that we've been told has been an illusion. Now, if everything we've been told is an illusion, then everything we've been told is an illusion. Yeah. And so, it's all a fear-mongering thing. We are made of the same molecule, whatever you want to call it, atomic structure, vibrational frequency, electromagnetics, as everything around us. We have the same elements in us as a tree, as a rock, as a nuclear bomb, as plastic. We have all of those same components within us. They're just organized in different ways. So if we're all the same, then there's nothing to really fear about it, because we just control our own molecular structure. See what I'm saying? So if you're in a divine part of yourself or a spiritual part of yourself, the physical body is the manifestation of that, and you control your own environment by your perception of it. So if you perceive that radiation, iodine neutralizes radiation. Well, what do you think the oceans are full of? They're full of iodine. Now, the big scare of Fukushima is dumping all the radiation into the ocean, killing the ocean, supposedly. Well, if the ocean is full of iodine, then it's neutralizing itself. So just throw away the fear.
Yeah, I think.
And realize it's just another manifestation of reality.
Steve?
Yes.
Steve? Hi, Steve. On the board here that may not know how to do that, and that's why I'm here. I got Tony. I've got Steve. Who else have I got that I can see? Green Wizard. Live. Yeah, you're getting called out, guys. This is your chance to shine. This is going to be the night of nights. This is where Saturn falls. Tonight is the night. It's done.
Yeah.
I'm going to read.
My birthday too.
There you go. Well, it has to be Mother's birthday, doesn't it?
That's right. Yep.
Happy birthday, Mom. Oh, there we go. We got Steve in here. So there you go.
Hi, Steve.
I feel better now that there's a Trinity, so I will reboot and reset the internet here to see if I can get online, and because I want to share this, and then I'll see what I can do about being able to read some of this for you anyway. Then and we're going to talk about anagogic spell casting as the real wizards do, right? So, Steve, you there? Okay.
Yes, I am. Good evening.
Okay. Well, good evening to you.
Steve.
So I'm going to reboot. The table is yours. The show stays open, and I'll be back as quick as I can. But have fun playing Get Your Goat. Okay. I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
All right. What's up, guys?
Well, kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't planning on calling into the show tonight, but I'll see if I can inject a few thoughts that maybe you all can play with. Ran across a really interesting article yesterday, I believe it was, and I made a comment, I don't know, several nights back on the show about the energies that are coming into play and the electromagnetics of it. And over the last couple of years, I have noticed a large change, a great change in plant cycles and plant growth and production of garden production, that type of thing, which has been down quite a lot, some 40-50% off production all over the place, all over the world. And I've noticed a lot of changes in the water, the earth water, coming up, the ground waters. A lot of major changes in the sun cycles. You can just observe with the naked eye, like many have. The spotlight effect, the lack of illumination, and of course the different clouding effects that we've had. Anyway, I ran across this article because I always said that one of these days it's going to get to the point to where it's going to be so obvious to so many people that so-called mainstream media, mainstream science, is going to have to start acknowledging that they've been going down the wrong path. And this article was put out by there was a spokesperson who was a scientist for a group of mainstream scientists, including NASA scientists, and talking about how the fact that they have to admit that they have been following the wrong paradigm when it comes to our galactic activities, that we are not a gravitational system, that we are an electromagnetic system, and acknowledging the fact that the electromagnetics of the sun have changed drastically, and that it is going to have profound effect upon the planetary geoelectric and the human electrical fields, and that we should expect some major changes in what we have known and the different effects that it's going to have on us. So I just thought, it didn't go into a lot of detail, but it's just really amazing to see that finally come into play, that the mainstream science is acknowledging that they've been walking down the wrong path. And what that tells me is that the money shifted, because for many years now, the main reason that mainstream science, and I keep using that word, has been following this path and not speaking up on the findings, the new findings, is because when they did, the grant money's pulled, the research money's pulled, they're thrown out of their little groupie organizations, so they've kept their mouths shut. But now the mainstream scientists are breaking away, opening up, and saying that yes, we are different. So the money's changed. I thought it was interesting.
I was talking about this last night. I was on a show last night. We were talking about this exact topic because everybody's noticing these changes, and if you're, work on the land a little bit, you notice that the sky is different, the sun is different, light is different. And so we were talking about these constants, and one is the speed of light, which we've been taking science, mainstream science, as you say, has been taken for granted. At one point, they just met and said we're going to agree that it's 186,000 miles per second, I think it is.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box. Let me see. Where do I want to start? Well, I've got a few ideas. It's going to be probably a show that is going to be a little bit more interesting than probably anything you've ever experienced, and that's the intent. It's an interesting day, this, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm still sorting a couple things out here. I'm going to be posting something on Facebook during this. I'm going to play a song, and there's a reason for it. There's always a reason for things. The understanding of it, you may or may not pick up on. A lot of concepts I want to share with you guys that are just going to melt your heads, and you'll start understanding what natural law really is and how to use it. Stand in it first. You know, you can't expect nature to stand with you if you defy it all the time. That's your natural state of being, right? That's the natural law. And you cannot even think of defying that which you are trying to create. And that's what we've been doing. We've literally been defying our own creations by walking around in this man-made stuff and all the rest of it in this kindergarten for angels, if you will. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play something for you guys, and we'll continue on the other side of it. I just want to get this into the ether for a very, very specific reason, of which I know what it is, and it's not really relevant that anyone else does, because, you see, God is unknowable, and I'll get into that. I'm going to do a little visit with Revelations 21 as well, and do a little decoding for you from a different perspective to expand what a new heaven and earth is. One of the things I like about this book that I've got here, of course, had to be exactly where it needed to be, right in front of me. I just want to share this before I play this tune for you. Anyway, it's right at the back of the book, chapter 22, which is, of course, there's your catch-22. It'll tie together. You'll see how this works, so stay with me on this and get on the magic carpet ride and open your minds to a whole new world, because that's what you're going into. At the back of this book, it says a scriptural directory, a guide to the persons, places, things, and thoughts hidden in God's Word, the easy location of which helps make the Bible an, in quotation marks, an open book. See, that's the book that you write. Not the duality Taurus field, that's the Bible. But you see, while we've been reading all along, we should have been writing. But only after reading can we write. So it's a perfect mirror regardless. And I do love showing the singularities, because every singularity exposed destroys the dualistic aspect of the spell that was created. And this world changes very quickly as a result, as I'm sure many of you are seeing for yourselves, without me saying that. And you're starting to see the power that you truly wield once you start getting into the nitty-gritty of truth. So here, let me share this with you, and I'm going to post something on Facebook. And then I will read part of it and explain a few things as to how to cast spells. Little hints that kind of dropped into my lap during dream time and pretty much all day. So I'll be right back after this, and we'll see you on the other side. Okay, well, the internet's not wanting to play nice, of course. Go figure. Oh, thank you for the fear that that you're showing in the mirror. It's beautiful. You see, I take everything that everyone would take as a negative, and I flip it into a positive, knowing that it's a mirror of this place. Yeah, this has just been something crazy. Where was I going to go here? Let me see. Okay, well, first off, I was going to read something from Facebook regarding Ragnarok, but of course can't get on fucking internet, so it's not letting me load the pages up. So the only way I can do that is to reboot everything, and I don't need to do that right now. I'm going to keep trying and see if it wants to fix itself or not. But anyway, I'm going to read a couple of things to you. Ragnarok, by the way, is the day the gods die. And of course it has to be 222, February 22nd. Right, so this is the catch-22 of duality, the 222. And that's exactly what this God spell is.
It's Mark here.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm great. Hi, Janet. No, I think that's fantastic what you just said, Steve. You know, blast out of the water the fear aspect. Are you really seriously thinking that, I mean, we're like...
Well, just look at
She's
Chernobyl.
amazing. She's amazing.
Years after Chernobyl, they look for the proof. You know, if radiation from a nuclear explosion or meltdown or whatever, and all the fear of all these nuclear plants melting down, if that was really the case, that it was going to kill the Earth in that area for thousands of years, if it was going to mutate and cause all this cancer and kill all the living organisms in that area, where's the proof of that? In the Chernobyl area, there's old women that still live in that area that are 80, 90 years old. They've lived with this meltdown because they refuse to move, and they have no increased cancer. They have no more increase in death rate. The only proof of the pudding came from the infant thyroid cancer increase, and that they tied into the fact that they drank milk from a cow. When the cow ate the grazed on the grass, it brought the radiation inside, it got into the milk, and the children, the babies, infants were fed the milk, and there was an increase in thyroid deformities. Other than that, where's the proof that any of this? You know, they exploded bombs over Nevada. They exploded bombs all over the frickin' place in this planet, and are still doing it. But yet it's not causing, where's the proof of all this fear? So it is just a fear game.
But it's all right for the United States government to do it, you see, Steve.
Well, yeah, but, you know, that's all going to go by the wayside, too. I mean, I'm not concerned about that. I'm looking at it from an overall, you know, just from an aspect of who I am, you know, not from this particular borders I were put in or this particular corporate governing body that came rising up through the ashes. I'm looking at it from where am I really? What am I to this planet? What is my connection to the cosmos? And how do I play in this beautiful imagination? Play in it, not be covered up in fear over all the stories and propaganda and ironies and construct, but to free my imagination from, you know, 55 years worth of crap that's been dealt on it, you know, and just start playing and creating from there, because all these fears only exist within oneself.
That was a good way of putting it. That was beautiful, man.
Yeah. Right.
Well, and of course, I'm
imagination.
most of the time. So.
Ultimately, because what I was getting at, the United States, is that, you know, the United States, Britain, France, we've been blowing up nuclear bombs for, God, you know, like you said, the last 50 years. But is that having any effect? What is Fukushima? It's, like you said, it's just another fear aspect. They're not going to discuss all the South Pacific nuclear experiments, shall we call them, that have been going on. What effects that been having?
Well, I think things like that have the effect too, but you give it. If you're afraid of Fukushima and let it run your life, then you're afraid of it and you let it run you rather than the other way around, you know. But yeah, good point.
Yeah, we're the creators.
It's like what Steve mentioned a minute ago. It's what reality, illusion, the smoke and mirrors, having rose-tinted glasses removed. Actually,
it's for the contrast. Yeah.
Yeah, the contrast is a big one. The contrast, ultimately, I don't know, from my perspective, it helps, doesn't it? And the contrast can be severe. It can be, we've all had different contrasts, different lives, different experiences, some worse than others. But when you come back, and I think somebody mentioned this story, I think it was Sherry who mentioned the story that I sort of was told about the petrol station attendant who